2, 1, and we're live! Whoa. Hello all, and welcome back to the Invictus stream. My name, as always, is Mr. Harlan Guthrie, and I am here with my dashing friend Chris.
Hello, guys.
My jolly friend Justin.
Hello.
My macabre friend Michael.
I love death.
And we are here with Dragon Age 2 Part 5. What? It has been a massive adventure so far. We've only been 4 episodes in, but so far our characters have grown together, they've come together, they've shared stories together, and there's been so much togetherness that it makes me fucking sick. It is 18 plus tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I want to make sure that's a big old clear...
Oh, wait. Where's my thing? I was so prepared for this.
Michael's got a warning. Yes, this is, of course, as always, an 18-plus show. There we go. If you don't like any of the words on your screen or additional words that I'm going to say throughout the night, please go ahead and close the YouTube video, because if you're offended by words, you know, we probably wouldn't get along that well. It's just sort of a matter of fact. We like saying words, all the words in the English dictionary, including Farfennugan, which is not in the standard English dictionary,
German,
but it's in my English dictionary. So I want to go ahead and thank you guys for being with us. Yeah, if you don't like the 18 plus warning, that's totally fine. Honestly, we can still be friends. But go ahead and like the video before you close it down. In fact, everyone watching right now, like the video, because I want to see what the call and answer is in a real time. We have 12 people watching. We have 7 likes on the video. My math's not adding up here. I want to see if anyone can like the video right now before I finish my long rant. Also, if you are watching this on our YouTube page and you haven't subscribed for whatever reason, whoa, it just jumped up. That was great.
I wouldn't liked it. Is that wrong?
Well, we're at 14, so yeah, something is wrong because the math's not there. If you're watching this on YouTube and you're not subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube. That means you get to hear about all of our new videos that are posted, such as Mr. Justin James's awesome Codex library. He has been meticulously recording segments from Dragon Age, as well as a few other things, such as other games and role-playing series, and posting them on our YouTube page. And he's going to be releasing them slowly over time to give you guys a taste of his beautiful, sultry, sexy voice. So go ahead, and that's one reason to subscribe. We also do short videos. We also do live streams every Wednesday night. So subscribing is super important. If you like our shows, you're going to notice that we don't advertise before them. We don't put like 30-second cannot skip ads or anything of that sort. And we do that because we like you guys. All right? And we don't want to be those types of people. But it does help if you share our videos and you talk about it. So if you like tweeting, go ahead and tweet a video of ours that you might really like, even this one. If you are, maybe friends with other role players or people are new to role playing, go ahead and show them one of our videos. Get the word out. We like the grassroots approach with our videos. We don't want to shove advertising down your throat. We want you to choose to share us and talk about us with your friends like you would around the water cooler. No one uses a fucking water cooler anymore. That's the YouTube side of it. If you are watching us through Facebook or some of its other intricacies, please go ahead and like our Facebook page and join our Facebook group. And finally, if you like tweeting, you follow us on Twitter. We are at Invictus Stream. It's the handle we use for everything. So if you can't find us, I'm sorry.
Harder.
Try a lot harder. But yeah, I'm so excited tonight, guys. Last week, Mr. Michael Barber, my best friend, couldn't be here with us, and it hurt my heart to no end. Mike, did you miss us?
I just don't even want to talk about it.
I know, it's all
Is
right.
it just me, or did Imogen's go through puberty very quickly over the break? And now
Yeah, I'm the hairiest 16-year-old elf ever.
Hey, you know what? He was in a coma, so he grew overnight like real coma people do, I think. No. And either way, he's just a little bit hairier, but he's back with us, and that's all we really care about. And we would never.
Well, it is No Shave November, and
that's right. It is No Shave November.
That is why.
Are any of us participating?
I shaved yesterday. Does that count?
That's the opposite of participating. I agree with the ideal. I haven't supported it though, unfortunately, because I would have to shave in order to grow it back. Look how pointy I am at. I'm almost to the point of Grandmaster Wizard. So once it gets down,
well, sorry, I'm letting that one go.
2 years, and I'm Grandmaster Wizard. Give it cure. No,
well, again, you might get a job at the White House soon then.
Oh, that's a KKK joke. I like it. Let's give him a round of applause. And a laugh track. My wife, she touches this and she says, "Yeah, you need to shave it." So this might be gone soon, or at least trimmed to the point. I have very scraggly pube-like beard.
See, for me, I have like whenever my siblings see me, they think I look very perverted with this mustache.
What?
Well, it's perverted looking.
That's not a perverted mustache. If they call you perverted, it's because of all the perverted things you do.
Well, you look so perverted when you touch those people inappropriately. And the mustache doesn't help.
Probably shouldn't peek at that window either.
Yeah, you shouldn't keep doing that. In any case, No Shave November is not being actively accomplished by us or contributed, but we are not shaving, so make of it what you will. As I mentioned, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook, please go ahead and follow, subscribe, share, and do all that bullshit so we don't need to ever put ads on the videos you love.
We'll do it.
I'll do it right now. I'll do it. I just dropped my phone. I will go on right here. By the way, check out my background. This is a background that some people are going to recognize, but the very talented Lyle family is going to recognize. And that's my lock screen. There we go. Check this shit out. Nice. That's right.
Hey.
Invictus Boys.
Nice.
I changed it to red because I'm the red one.
You didn't
I'm the
deserve
red
green.
one. No, I didn't deserve it. Yes, this is a way that we always like to involve you guys. There are a few ways we like to involve you, but this way is the mid-game post. That was a weird segue. When you watch us, you can earn experience points, and experience points can be spent in-game to alter the way we play, as many longtime viewers will know. There are certain ways to earn experience points, one of them being just a member of the group and liking the page and things of that nature. But this night, we will be doing, of course, the mid-game post. The mid-game post is going to be halfway through the night, where we will stop the gameplay. We will post in the Facebook group, in the first, second, and third comments, as well as the 20th. We'll get a bit of XP to spend on us, hopefully. That is one of the ways. The other way that we really like to reward you guys is by the most valuable post. Thank you. And to announce the most valuable post, aka the MVP, I'm going to throw it to my very good buddy, Mr. Michael Barber. Michael, give us the MVP.
Whoa. All right. So again, we had like an incredible amount of posts last week. There was just so many. I put a post up to poll what you guys thought, and unfortunately, even that got limited because you can only put so many poll options, and there were more that I wanted on there, so I had to, sorry if you didn't make it on the poll. Feeling a little guilty about that, but
we'll forgive you. I forgive you.
I'm over it. I'm over it. You. All right, so a quick rundown of the posts that we were looking at. It was Aisha D. Lyle for her great moments in role-playing, the Kurt Nod. Harlan, Justin, Chris, John Regan, feeling grateful for Dr. Harlan, and we always feel grateful when we get.
What was the context of that? I forget that.
I remember healed a man through your.
He had a problem with his back, yeah, and he was watching you guys play the spooky game night, and a part of it made it jump, and he's like, "Oh,
that's
what?"
Right. That's right, and thank you again, all those people who hang out at spooky game night.
So. Again, another reason to watch the Invictus stream. We're just good for you. We're a healthy lifestyle option.
Healthy lifestyle. We're vegan friendly.
We're vegan friendly. William Miller, thoughts on vampires. He also had a few other posts that I really liked too. It was thoughts on how to include natural disasters into your campaign.
Yeah, like when you bring them into the story, not how do you include them in your real life. Like, oh, there's an earthquake going on. How can you include it in the role-playing? Hey, guys, you're really in an earthquake right now.
That is correct. Galen Fior with his model addiction denial. He was showing a lot of his models that he's painted and that sort of thing, and it's a fantastic collection. Mark Lane sent a link to someone named Matt Vansel on Twitter, who has an Orc English translation, and it was particularly appropriate because it's based on Bruce Campbell's chin or something like that, and we're all a fan of Bruce Campbell.
No, I don't think I like that guy at all.
Yeah,
I have 3 of his pictures. I just realized there's one here, and one here.
And he's always got the one that he keeps up here for times of loneliness in the shower.
I do.
Daniel Peterson Knudsen for again, he brought us through his first mini that he's painted in 15 years, so that was nice because he also talked about the different types of paints that he's using and that sort of thing. Mr. Al Young for his first Vampire the Masquerade campaign. So that's nice to always keep up on what's going on with you guys in your own campaigns. Eric Nilsson. Actually, this one I thought was phenomenal because he was showing his own homemade minis that he made out of like cardboard for the base and some wire and some.
Yeah, those are pretty spectacular.
They are pretty spectacular. I wish I had been thought a little bit ahead of time and had some pictures ready to go to screen share. Also, another one that's a good, helpful role-playing one was Jeff Romo put a link to an article from Pink Dice GM creating backstories in-game. So it's talking about sort of low points in the where you're actually role-playing, like a lull, like sitting around the campfire, and you have the characters, the player characters, start the conversation. So like, Penth, where did you first learn to fight like that? Or Grinner, tell us a story about, you know, how you got.
Once upon a time in a long-away castle. What's a long-away castle? I don't know.
There you go. If you want to check out, actually, let's see. Let's go with this first. So tonight's winner. Aisha DeLisle!
Well deserved. Well deserved.
Very well deserved.
You can check out this little video that she made on our community stream, Invictus Community group. They play a lot of other role-playing games that we don't. And actually, not gonna lie, I got a text from my daughter, my older daughter, who she's a geek. She doesn't like to admit that she's a geek, but she's like plays DDO all the time.
She's amongst friends.
She's amongst friends. Anyway, she's like, yeah, so I was gonna check out the Invictus community stream to see what a bunch of losers you guys all are and the bunch of losers you hang out with. And she's like, I really like it. Those guys are great.
That's how we get you.
Right. That's how we get you. We lure you in with false, you know, oh, we're just
yeah. So she was
like, I'm going to beat that up and then they get here.
Don't rest your head game. So she really enjoyed that one. So there you go, guys. Check out that. It's a great stream as well.
Can I just say thank you, Aisha, for making those videos? Because every time I watch them, I feel like I'm really lucky. I feel happy.
Oh, yeah. Let's wait. I agree. I mean, there's 2 layers to it because first off, yes, we love those videos and appreciate Aisha. While at the same time, I also feel when we reward it, it can be a bit masturbatory because we're sort of just saying we really like watching ourselves in a shorter format because it's really us that we're congratulating. But no, it takes a lot of work to edit. If you edit anything, you got to know. Well, first off, you got to sit through one of our games. But secondly, you got to go back and cut out all the good bits, and there aren't many. So well done, Aisha. Totally deserved. And yes, to mirror what Chris said, I totally appreciate that. However, Chris, where'd you get that lovely flask from? Sam was asking.
Oh, yeah. I got the flask from Ribfest, soda pop company in Toronto. They go around with like old-timey soda pop. And it's like I had my first butter beer, which I've never had before. I was like, hey, I'll try it. And I was like, cool, I get a flask and it'll look cool when Penth is drinking. And I got 2 of them for camping as well. I thought I could cook on it. They said it was stainless steel. I'm pretty sure stainless steel is magnetic. I'm pretty sure it's aluminum. Taste aluminum-y.
I bet. Ribfest, I was going to explain it. But it's called Ribfest. If you can't figure that out.
There's ribs. Where everybody shows off their ribs.
Look at this. You figure it out. If you don't know it, you figure it out yourself. So yeah, sorry. Thank you, Michael, for doing that. Thank you, Chris, for answering that question.
Well, again, thank you to everyone on the Facebook group for giving us something to go through. And
Thank you for thanking.
And thank
Michael.
you, Chris, for thanking them. And Michael, thank you for thanking Chris.
Justin, thank you.
Thank you for the space, the silence behind the thanking that is happening all
Thank
the
you.
time.
No,
Yeah,
thanks.
we're gonna
but
get to the
seriously-
game post before we start the game.
Yeah, we're gonna get to actually, it hasn't been that long, so I'm not too worried. But in any case, that is it for the intro. So again, mid-game post is going to be happening. MVP has just been rewarded. Well done, Aisha. And again, I want to remind everybody, if you haven't liked or subscribed, go ahead and do that, shiznit. I know, I don't like asking it, but like I said, it's just an easy way to spread the word. If you again want to get someone into role playing, show them one of our earlier videos where we're really crummy at it, and then that way they can be like, look, if these terrible guys can get 2,000 subscribers, clearly it must not be tough. Just use this as an example of what not to do, and hopefully that will get people coming to us, because that's all. Well, I just want people to come on me. What? Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and throw it to my baby boy, Justin Thomas James, to take us in a world of hurt. Justin James, without further ado.
Thank you, Harlan. Imogen. Surrounded by gnarled trees in a dark forest, your body trembles, partly from the cold, but partly from an overwhelming fear of what is hunting you. It feels like it's been days since Cohen reached out to warn you about the growing presence of the entity within you, and you feel your strength waning as the cold and loneliness bear down on you from hiding for all of this time. You have found a place to conceal yourself for now in a hollow between the roots of a tree, but you have a feeling that it won't be long before the entity catches up with you. Suddenly, your mind is split into two perceiving entities. You can still feel your fear and the cool soil beneath you within the rooted hollow, but at the same time, you feel a great yearning for vengeance, power. You still lay in your hollow, yet also you feel yourself gliding between the crooked trees, hunting your prey. You can sense the sickly sweet smell of fear and flesh not far ahead, and are pushing toward it with nauseating hunger. What do you do, Imogen?
As much as I don't want to, I have to continue. I have to go. I have to go towards. I'm so hungry. I need to feast.
So you can
Feels like
feel
years.
this entity within you craving hunger, and it's so different from the entity which is Imogen. Imogen, you can still feel the boy. You can feel his shivering, but you can sense him and smell him as well. And you draw closer towards him when something catches your eye. A spark, something green, a green light flashes and hits one of your entities. And you're distracted for a moment from the hunger. And for a minute, Imogen, you are left to your own devices. You can't feel this entity within you anymore.
Well, it must be.
Do you stay
must
in the
be
hollow,
shielded.
or do you
No,
run?
I feel like it's time to come out of the fade. So
How do you do that?
trying to remember. It's so racked with. There was still that pain, that hunger, but I don't.
You can
feel
feel
like
the
it's-
hunger again, stronger now. It's been distracted, but it's back on track. It knows exactly where you are, and you feel yourself moving closer and closer to you to consume you.
I haven't felt this way since. And now I can remember I didn't remember doing it at the time, but I can remember tearing into the flesh of that young boy and how good it felt. Just tearing him apart.
And that thought, while it fills part of you, with satisfaction and desire, another part that seems to be growing smaller and smaller is
No, that it's not who I am. The whole idea is that I control the demon, not let the demon control me. So I have to fight. I have to get back. It's time to lead the faith. I have to get back.
okay. So, as you speak to yourself under the hollow, you look up and you notice a glowing mist in a circle. And you recognize it as the wisp that you saw from the first time you entered the Fade.
So I will follow it.
Yeah. You get a great sense of familiarity, like it's family. And it leads you down the forest, away from the entity that is chasing you. And you have to run. You have to run to keep up with it. But you manage to, and you push through the trees trying to keep up with this wisp. And eventually you break out into a clearing. The same clearing that you stepped into before, with the monolith far in the center of it. But this time, the monolith is different. There is a faint red glow around it. And also, with the same red light, an arc coming from some source across the way, which looks to be a faint silhouette of a human.
A human or an elf?
A humanoid creature, we'll say. It's too hard to tell.
I will get closer.
Okay.
Now, and keeping in mind, the last time I was here, I was feeling the resistance of getting too near the monolith.
Right. So as you step...
I want to fight to get closer.
Okay. As you step closer, you feel this other part of you, this growing part of you, become racked with fear. And you feel yourself gliding through the forest, pushing as quickly and desperately as you can to catch up with your prey. You must not let it get any further.
No, because I am going to be the one that controls the demon. It is not going to control me any longer.
All
I
right.
lost it a little bit in the battle, and I'm feeling terrible about that in the street fight. I let it take too much control. So now I'm going to will myself to step closer and closer to the monolith.
Each step feels like you are digging daggers into the back of this entity. You get closer and closer to the monolith. And with every step, you begin to hear something strange, something that doesn't feel like it's coming from this realm at all, and yet it's still so present. The sound of tribal drums. You step closer and closer to the monolith, the being inside of you writhing in pain. And when you're only about 20 feet from it, you stop. Your feet cannot go any further. You can try to do a self-discipline roll, but it's going to be very challenging.
I'm going to do it, and I'm going to succeed. And I'm going to ask for any donated XP from the community.
I'll make a
post. This will let me use an extra die. Is that correct?
If someone gives you 5 XP, yep.
Anyone? One. Oh, that's an old Cadbury commercial.
So go ahead and roll, and if any are bad, then we can re-roll and add that if the community is willing.
All right. So 14, 15, so 16.
Oh, your overlay's gone, and your dice aren't showing up.
Oh, well, I got a 4, a 5, and I have a +2 to willpower.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. So 15. All right. So you begin to step closer, even still. One more step.
We do have a donation, by the way, just in case you didn't make it.
Okay. Well, you might have to make another one. Oh, yes. Okay. I'm glad you... thanks for clearing that up, Michael.
For all you non-believers.
You make it one more step closer. And there is a flash of a memory of elves being chained and killed, elves being tortured, slaughtered, thrown into mud, executed. And you are hit with this overwhelming anger from exactly what you've experienced in your life and from what you've seen of how elves have been treated. You take another step.
As enraged as I am, I know that I also have to control the rage because I can't let the demon win.
Self-discipline.
All right, so, yep. 14.
14. Okay. You feel your courage starting to break. You feel this fear starting to take over. And you can sense that the entity that's been chasing you is right behind you.
Well, so I'm going to dig down deep because I'm terrified of this demon. And in digging down, I'm going to use 5 XP from John Regan.
Okay.
And I had to die.
As we all do in times of great stress.
Which gives me a 1. And so digging down even deeper if I can, I'm going to take 5 from Tyler Road.
Okay.
Is that okay? Can I do that?
That's perfect. So,
which is another 1.
Oh, no.
So that'll give me what is that? 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 again.
So as you push forward, you feel this wisp nearby, sense of familiarity, closeness, almost like a family member, filling you with spirit and the vigor to continue. And you take another step, a second step towards this monolith. You feel this beast, something breathing down the back of your neck. It is right behind you, and you can hear a voice amidst the drums. Do not go closer. Go no closer.
You don't control me. I am your master.
Turn around. All right, step one more.
Until now. Now you control me. 9, 10, 11.
Turn around. You spin around. And you don't see anything at first. You just see darkness. But then as your eyes adjust, it's not darkness, it's a cloud of black smoke, billowing and writhing within itself. And it churns slowly and powerfully in front of you and says, "You do not control me." And you begin to lose track of your senses, and all light fades as 2 massive black wings emerge from the cloud before you, wrapping themselves over you, stretching to consume you in darkness. And along with your sense of sight, you feel your emotions begin to disappear as well. Your anger, your fear, your curiosity, replaced by a chilling emptiness that begins to dominate your soul. But then, warmth. Something foreign. You resist it at first, but the warm and tender sensations begin to fill the emptiness. You sense a light, small at first, steadily growing within you. Not before long, this new sensation has taken over completely, and bright white light consumes your vision. You hear a voice that sounds like a lark. Imogen. Imogen, step away from the fade. You can do it now. I've opened your mind to it. Step out. Imogen! You open your eyes and take in a sharp breath. Looking around quickly, you see that you're surrounded by people and a dog. But most importantly, leaning down to right in front of you, you see an elven woman staring you blankly in the eyes. A face that you recognize. The woman's name is Ashara. May Gavanen, Imogen. May Gavanen. So, Grinner and Penth and Faust
hear
are
us?
there.
Ashara, can he hear us? Is he? Imogen.
Yes.
It's fine. It's fine, Grinner.
Okay. He may need some space. Imogen, how are you feeling?
I'm good. I can. Where are we? What's going on? What do we need to do?
And I stand back in the room and I lean against the wall next to Penth, who's stoic.
I'm frustrated. There's nothing I can do in this situation. There's not even something physically. I don't even know what's going on. It's beyond my understanding. It's like a sickness that's taken someone so important to
It's all right,
me
though,
and to the group.
It's okay.
Well,
Good night.
I'm sure you all have many questions, but I feel like this isn't the safest place to talk about it. You know of anywhere safer that we could speak?
Yeah, my friend, Dane, the Gateway Inn. It's just a short ride from here, a walk from here, really.
All right. Then let us head there.
And I go to the bedside and help up Imogen. And I give him like a sort of a pat on the shoulder as I'm like, don't you do that to us again.
And I stand up, trying to do it all on my own because I don't want Ashara to see that I'm weak and I need any help because, she's beautiful.
Look at Faust. How is he reacting?
Faust is very uncomfortable. That entire ordeal was very difficult for him, and he actually tried to leave the room at one point. Did you
I
let him
refuse to let him. Absolutely not.
Yeah. Okay. So you forced him to sit and stay. And he didn't seem to like it, but you were able to control him to a degree. So, after waking Imogen from his unconscious state, you return to the Gateway Inn, where upon your presence, Dane Rooker, Grinner's longtime friend and bartender of the inn, declared an early last call. The few remaining patrons down their final sips and trickle out of the bar as you and your party gather around the fire. Karthus, seating himself heavily in an armchair, his armor clanking as he settles in. Ashara stepping swiftly to the window, and after glancing out for a moment, drawing the curtains shut. And Faust circling the rug before the warm hearth, and with a yawn and a stretch, lowering himself down to rest his heavy head gently on Penth's foot. All is calm, and a silence touched only by the crackle of the flame before you settles on the room.
Imogen, you remember Karthus from the alleyway.
Yes, sir, I do, sir.
He's a good friend of mine. He can be trusted. And Ashara is, well, you recognize Ashara?
For many, many years ago, yes, she's grown. She's grown.
As of you, young Imogen.
How do you know each other?
And Ashara darts a stern look at you, Penth.
It was wrong for me to ask.
No, it wasn't. Imogen and I knew each other, well, about a decade ago. We grew up in the same clan. Right, Imogen?
To be honest, I don't remember that much of it.
You don't? Well, I guess you were rather young then. Imogen and I were in the same clan. My mother, Alora, was a highly regarded member of the clan, and Imogen's father was the keeper. He called the shots and told us all what to do. Led us around.
Keeper, what is keeper?
Keeper is a spiritual leader of sorts. He tells the clan where we should go. The Dalish, as you might not be aware, are a traveling band of elves. Somewhat homeless, but not exactly. We find our
But free.
homes, but free.
We are free.
Sorry, what was Imogen's father's name?
Rael. And as you say, as you mentioned his father, bring it up again, a look of, I guess, worry crosses her face.
You
As
seem
she
concerned.
goes away. Well,
Is my father still alive?
Imogen, I'm sure you'll have lots of questions. No, well, I don't know. I've asked my mother several times before she passed away, but she never wanted to talk about it. I believe he is. When I left the clan with my mother and a few others, I knew that he was alive. I thought for sure that you were going to stay with him, but I'm somewhat heartened to realize that you didn't go with them.
I didn't have much choice in the matter. I was taken by the circle.
I see. Well, there must be a reason other than helping you today for you to trade for my services. Is there anything else that...
Look, we didn't need the bronze bust. That's why we gave it back to him for you. The truth is, and I look between Imogen and I look between Ashara. The truth is, as you might have been able to detect, there's something within Imogen, something very powerful. And neither Penth nor myself are in any way skilled in magic. Should it try to escape, as it once did, we need someone who we can trust that would be able to contain Imogen. And I say it with a bit of hesitancy so as not to worry Imogen, I guess is my worry.
When you mentioned this, and you alluded to it briefly at the Duke's Manor, I didn't really know what you meant, but now that I've been with Imogen and seen him in that state, I was able to feel just a taste of what it was. Imogen, what is it inside of you? How did this happen?
We were trying to stop a ceremony of sorts. A ceremony to bring forth a demon into the world. We failed. The demon is now a part of me. And we need to find a way to get this demon out.
I'm not so sure it's a demon, Imogen.
No, didn't Dorian say it was something more powerful than a demon?
More powerful, yeah. That's an understatement. I don't know what it is.
A demon, to keep it in simple terms.
Right, of course. I am surprised that when I felt its power that I was actually able to pull you out of it. But knowing that I can do this, I'll do everything I can to protect you, Imogen.
As I will you.
And in reading the room and the palpable tension between the two, I'm kind of cut in between them. All right. Listen, regardless of what's in Imogen, we know that we need to get to his home place. Imogen had a sort of a recollection, a vision, if you will, where he needed to take the demon, some sort of obelisk, something with great power. And for whatever reason, we think that getting him there might be a way to banish or defeat the demon. So if you can help us in any way finding where that might be, that's going to help us greatly.
Or alternatively, I mean, in the Amir clan, we have people when it comes to spiritual matters that we don't understand. Perhaps we can speak to Real. If he was the guiding force for your people, he seems like a good person to find. Can we meet him?
And when you suggest meeting Riel, she's immediately tense. I don't think that's a good idea.
Why not?
Rael and my mother parted of ways for a reason. And meeting with him to negotiate or discuss these things may not be the best option, but what do you know about this vision?
There was a monolith, a powerful, arcane monolith. The woods are twisted, old, but there is a clearing in which this monolith stands. And I know that there's a guiding wisp that leads me, protects me.
There are many wisps that wander the fade. The twisted, gnarled woods. Sounds like where your father went, Imogen. Sounds like where we parted ways, you and I. The
Do you
forest.
remember how to get there? Because that is where we need to go.
I do.
Can you take us there?
I can try. Have any of you heard of the Deep Woods?
Oh, God. Oh, the deep
Otherwise-
woods. No, sorry. I thought you said the deep roads.
Oh, no, not the Deep Roads. No.
Nope, never heard of them.
Well, you mentioned the Deep Roads. Very similar in terms of the amount of threats that are willing to end your life if we were to go
Just
there.
not copywritten. I'm just kidding. Plain threat, not legally binding. No, sorry. No, I've never heard of the deep woods.
They're pretty much exactly the same. Just instead of being surrounded by rock, you're surrounded by trees. It's
You
also
think this
known-
place?
I'm sorry, it's also known by an elven name. It's also known as the Tirishan.
And you think this is where Imogen's vision was?
Now, does that name ring a bell? Do I remember?
Yes, you do remember mention of the Tirishan, but before, when you looked at a map, it didn't actually come to you.
Right.
You didn't recognize it on the map, so you do remember the name of the Tirishan, and you remember it is to the west.
I'm
Ashura,
feeling confident that is where we must go.
yeah, but do we not still think maybe? And I look to Pent and I look back to Imogen and I say, Ashura, you've now sort of sensed this thing within him. And when we first did, we were given this vision by Imogen, a very strong part of me felt that maybe this thing is trying to lure us there for whatever reason. Am I mad for thinking that this possibly could want us to seek this location out? That this could be actually the worst thing to do?
The fear it felt was real. The fear I felt, it felt, was real. Grinner.
I don't doubt that, Imogen.
This is something you must trust me in.
It's not that I don't trust you, Imogen. You know I trust you. And I walk over and kind of put a hand on your shoulder. Imogen, we dragged you around for almost an entire day because we would do anything to protect you. And that comes with your trust, and it comes with your respect, and it comes with a whole slew of other things. But it doesn't mean that the creature that's inhabiting you can't control the same emotions. And I kind of say in a hushed voice, if the creature allowed you to do those things that you did to that poor boy, do you not think it possible that it could control your emotions as well? And I kind of turn back to Ashar and I say, I'm just asking, is it a possibility, or do you feel wholly confident, as I want to, that Imogen's feelings are true, that this is in no way a trap?
I can tell you this, Grinner, if this will help you. I know that when I feel it, I can feel the duality. I can sometimes feel that I'm losing myself in it, yet I can still feel that we are two separate individuals. And I can feel that my feelings and contrast them to that of whatever it is that possesses me.
Fair enough.
Either way, while that is a concern that I would have myself, Grinner, if we were to go the opposite way, take him as far away from the Tirashan as we possibly could, he'd still be connected through the Fade. It would still be able to take control of him because as far as his spirit self is concerned, that's where he is.
We don't wait for our enemies to fight us. We bring the fight to them. If we wait, it'll be on their terms. But if we attack, they may not be ready for us.
Unless that's what they want us to do.
But
But either way, I agree with Ashara. We can't do nothing, ultimately, no matter what. He is connected to the Fade. I want to express my concern is all. If I can think of it, something much more sinister than I could as well. That's my only thought. And I go and sit down.
And as you sit down, Dane returns with a bunch of drinks, and he passes them around. And Karthus says, well, I just got to say that I haven't been surrounded by this many people that I feel comfortable with in a long time. So, cheers to you all. Sounds like you're all doing something very important.
Cheers, Dane. Cheers, Karthus.
And I push my drink away from myself.
You don't like ale?
I'm not drinking it right now.
What? It might be the last time you see a tavern if you're going out west to the deep woods.
I haven't been resting well, and I think that the ale has something to do with it.
The ale has something to do with resting poorly. It usually puts me right to sleep.
And I watch Penth because I know he's not one to turn away a drink.
I can't figure out what the reason, but I'm not sleeping well, and I don't drink ale where I come from, and I just push it away again. So if anyone else wants it, it's there for them.
Karthus shakes his head and goes back to gazing at the fire, staring at it.
And I lean over and take the drink.
So Dane returns. He says, gentlemen, and Ashara, was it? I thought maybe you'd like to look at a map. And he unfurls a map on the table and just kneels down in front of everybody. So you were mentioning the deep woods, or as the elves that come in here sometimes call it, the Tirashan. And I'll just show you where that is. So here I'm going to screen share, guys.
Ooh.
So fancy.
So just a quick recap of where we have come. Whoa!
Where did we come from? Where did we go?
Out here. From whence you came.
Wow.
So we
should have zoomed out that far. It feels less epic now. It's such a big place. There we go. Look how far we traveled.
So we started in the Emir encampment, and Penth and Grinner worked their way down this path all the way through Hallam Sharal into Leeds.
Sure
and
did.
Since Leeds, after meeting with Renner and Imogen, the three of them, Imogen, all three, they went north. They took the Gilded Lady across the Shining Sea towards Val Royo, the shimmering city. And here I will show you that voyage. So for the past few days, they've been in Val Royo, but now they're going on a different voyage to the west, past the Imperial Highway, which is pretty much the edge of civilization to the west, beyond Val Foret, through to the Nahashin Marshes, a dark and scary place that is very uncharted, and even further west to the location of their interest, the Tirashan.
It's like in the middle of nowhere.
It's on the edge of the map, quite literally.
And as I'm looking at the map, I turn to Ashara. The Nahashin marshes, are they still a dangerous place as they once were?
As far as I know, yes, there are creatures in there that I'd never like to encounter, but there are also some towns out that way. I remember on my way back from the Tirishan, we stayed in a small town called Bleakwater, and there were a few other little villages scattered throughout the marshes. Very strange folk, not ones that I'd really care to meet again either, but the ones in Bleakwater seemed relatively nice.
What would the disadvantage be of sticking to the roads, going further north than need be, but then cutting back down?
The blasted hills, Imogen, they're not a
Certainly,
safe place either.
right, but if we leave from Andorral's Reach and back, that's certainly got to be faster still than cutting through a marsh.
We'd never make it to Andorral's Reach. Tell him why, Dane.
Well,
Tell him who owns the castle.
I also know the reason. Just you tell him, Dane.
Andorral's Reach is almost Tevinter territory, and there has long been a war between the Tevinter and the Orlesians, and it is still a contested area. Every now and then skirmishes break out. This entire road leading up here, through Montford, Gislane, Cherno, Andorra's Reach, is swimming with Templars. And I
They
don't
don't
know.
take
That
too
is
kindly
good
to
enough
it.
for me.
They don't take too kindly to elves.
So
Templar,
your options are-
We met a Templar once, didn't we?
We did.
2 of them.
Didn't work out well for them.
No, it didn't. I am thinking, though, if we stay on the outskirts of the marshes, it might be relatively safe.
Sure.
But we
Could
can't
stay on
get
the
too
outskirts,
close. If we
going
get
south.
too close to the abyssal reach, I'm also nervous about what might happen. Look, and I turn to Ashara, and I kind of pull her aside a bit. I say, Ashara, a moment of your time.
Yeah. What is it?
As everyone else is studying the map, you felt this thing inside of Imogen, this thing that you scoffed at when we called it a demon. If we are to head here, and for whatever reason we can retrieve the being that inhabits my friend, how powerful are we talking? Can the 3 of us take it?
It's very hard to say. There may be a simple way to defeat it. I don't know exactly what it is, so I can't tell you what that is, but I get the impression, I get the feeling that it's being summoned. That if my hunch is correct, there are people trying to bring it into this realm. And those people might pose a very strong threat.
More of a threat than the 3 of us can handle? And I kind of point to Karthus. I'm asking if, in your opinion, you think we need more help than just 3 of us.
I don't know if an entire legion of soldiers could do what we are seeking to do.
And while they're doing this, I'm actually challenging Karthus to an arm wrestle in the background, trying to outdo him already.
And he's saying, you want to arm wrestle, eh? How
Well,
much do you wager?
I wager I could break your arm on the table if I tried hard enough.
I wager you'd break your own arm.
And then I'd strangle you with it.
Yeah, you couldn't strangle a fly.
And then I put my arm on the table. You ready for this then?
Pieces. 20 silver pieces if I win. 20 silver to you if you win.
Fair enough.
All right. So go ahead and do a strength roll. We'll just do one and then we'll jump back to Grinner. Okay. So Grinner, we're going to jump back to you. You hear Penth and Karthus struggling at a table.
And I kind of just glance over and I'm
quiet.
like, yeah, that's gonna happen.
And Ashara says, I really don't know if it's possible, but it's the least that I can do to help Imogen.
No, we would appreciate your help, and we'll pay you what you need for the alienage.
That would be appreciated because, and if I could have the payment now, the only reason is this is something that I feel might be worth losing my life over.
Right. No, we can make sure that happens. But I need your advice on whether you think we need more people.
As many as we can gather.
As she says she needs her payment now, I take 2 gold and put it on the table.
And I say, well, perfect. There you go. Now you're pulling your weight, Imogen. Start paying the people.
So back to Penth. Let's see. We got.
I do want to look over at Penth and be like, it's like a bird fighting with a mirror.
So he gets to add +3 to his, and you get to add your strength plus might. Not unarmed in this situation.
What is might?
Might is a different focus.
That I have.
Nice. So
No, I don't have might. I don't have might.
Say
I
that.
thought you brought it up because I had it, but I don't have might. Do I have
Nope,
might?
you don't. So if you have might, you can add +2. But if
Does Faust?
Faust doesn't have might, I don't think anybody does.
Speaking of, while they're doing this, I'm going to go walk over to Faust and bond with him.
Okay. So you walk over to him, and he looks up and instantly rolls over onto his back in front of
And I
the
sit
fire.
down on the floor and I pet his belly as I watch these birds fighting.
So, Penth, what did you roll? Karthus got a.
You beat me by 2, I believe, or 1.
So what's your strength? Add your strength to it.
3.
3. Okay, so he beat you by 1.
But as is, I have might. I do have might. Sorry.
Ah, you do now.
I was looking. It's under strength. It's right there.
Okay. Oh, is it there?
Can you see?
I don't see it. You're cutting out. You're cutting out, buddy.
Right. It's right there.
All handwritten in.
All right,
handwritten.
all right.
Right
We'll say
now.
it's there. So
Either way, I was going to punch him in the throat as I was losing. Those are mere rules.
Just barely you are able to force his fist down to the table, and he grunts and says, "Fuck!" And he reaches into his pocket, grabs a couple 20 silver pieces in a pouch, and plops them on the table, and says, "We're doing this again."
Right now?
No, later. My arm is not as tired. So, the map. Dane returns your attention to the map, and he says, "Oh, Grinner, I thought you'd like to know this, but I ran into Orda today,
Oh, yeah.
and she's an old friend of mine. I've known her for a while, and I managed to snag a pretty good deal, if you're interested. I know you're looking for a rune, something you can put into that bow of yours, but I didn't find she didn't have any, unfortunately. But she did have a couple things I thought you might find interesting."
And I kind of look around and I say, let's talk in the back room.
Sure, no problem. So you and Dane get
Yeah, I
up.
head to the back and I sort of shut the door. And I, being a rogue by trade, right? I mean, once a warrior, now a rogue, I kind of roll up my sleeves and say, all right, I know that talk. What do you have?
So Orda has come into the possession of a map, an old map of an ancient dwarven trader named Dragone. This guy apparently set up trade routes all across Thetis, and he's the reason why we have a lot of roads that we have today.
Yeah.
But one thing that was interesting that she's found about this map is that this isn't the trade route of, the main routes that he did. This shows the trade routes that he did under the table, so to speak.
I gotcha. So you think there's going to be caches along the way?
Exactly. That's exactly it. Outposts that he liked to stay in. There's a number of Dragone's outposts still today that are ruins across the roads. I can only imagine that he would have set a few up across these side trade routes.
Any of them on the way out west?
It just so happens that there is. Right in the heart of the Nash and marshes. I can mark it on your map if you like.
No, keep it with me. Well, yeah, mark it on my map though, not the local map.
All
And
right.
I kind of hand him my own personal map.
So
If not, I ask for a second copy.
he does mark it on your map, and it's right there. So just west of Valroyo, pretty much straight through this river, Dragone's outpost.
Damn. Did it say anything about what would be in the cache?
No, it's honestly just a map of these caches, but there's a good chance, because it's so off the beaten path, and Orda's pretty confident that nobody else has ever seen this map before until, well, for hundreds of years, that this one hasn't been looted, or maybe it's crumbled to the ground, but it hasn't been looted yet like all the other ones on the main trade routes have.
All right, Dane, we're friends. But we're not that good friends. What's your take on this? You just giving me the location, no strings?
Well, to be perfectly honest, I got something else for you too.
All right.
She says that there's likely going to be runes there. And if you find a rune, you're not going to be able to do anything about it. You won't be able to put it into your bow until you reach an enchanter. And I highly doubt that there's a tranquil or another dwarf to the west in the Tirashan.
I'd agree with that.
So here, he pulls out a strange object that you've never seen before. It's made of brass, and it's like a small pocket watch, except there are chains or links coming from 4 different directions that look like they clasp together.
All right, what am I looking at here?
So that is a very rare item that I've had for a long time. I've never been able to use it. I was thinking about selling it, but I don't know. I'm not really into selling things sentimental anymore. Basically, you get 1 free rune enchant. You can use it. It'll expire afterwards, but it's this strange dwarven man showed it to me. I don't actually know if it'll actually work, but he seems confident that it would.
What are you saying? That if I get a rune stone, I can put it in this and it will enchant it automatically?
Yeah, before it breaks, before this object breaks. You can't use it more than once, apparently.
What's the enchantment on it?
There's no enchantment on this. You've got to find a rune first.
Oh, right. Okay, well, now, Dane, I got to ask, what's the catch? You're giving me a location of a rune as well as the way to enchant it. Come on. You're nice, but you're not that nice.
Well, I was thinking about asking you for money, but that really, I don't know.
You really need that in a place like this, Dane?
I don't. I don't need any money. So all I'm asking is that if you succeed on this trip, that you come back to Valroyo. You maybe put down your bow or just use it in archery contests. Leave your life of adventuring behind and stay here. Valroyo, it's a great spot. My wife will have you over. You can stay with us for as long as possible, and just we could use some more friends, because the people here don't give me the same friendship that you have.
Dane, I've been out in the world for far too long, or that's just about the best gift or trait, I should say, that I've ever gotten. I've known you long enough to know that you're pretty upfront, and that if you really did want something from this, you wouldn't have given it to me until you did. So I'm going to take you at your word, and I'm going to do whatever I can to hold my end of the bargain. Yeah, I'll come back. If I come back alive, I'll come back. I wouldn't mind hanging out here a few nights a week, growing fat and old with you. Well, you grow older, but...
Hey. Well, that's a relief. That really is a relief. You don't know what it means to me.
It's a pickle, though. You know that. My friend out there, Penth, really likes money for his tribe. I don't know how this would go over. whatever's in there, if anything, he'd expect to split it or maybe take it all.
You think so?
Well, I don't know how to exactly play this. I could keep it from them and just detour, but I don't like the idea of that. I could be honest, but they could want it or not be interested in going.
I don't think that any gold that you'd find in there would be, well, it might be very valuable to antiquary. I can never say this word.
Antiquarians?
Antiquarians? But
Antiquarians?
it's a different currency from that.
It's not worth anything?
No, you might find some powerful items, magical items that stood the test of time, but like runes.
I don't know. I have to think about it.
All right. Well, hang on to it. Either way, if you do come across a rune in your travels, I want you to keep that because bottom line, I want you to survive this.
Well, I appreciate that, Dane. And I want to survive it too. I appreciate the map and I appreciate this. Worst case scenario, I could always swing by on my way back alone or go out and get it alone before I come back here to settle down. Just have to weigh some things in my head. Thank you, though. And I kind of give him a hug.
All right.
But a manly hug. A one-armed hug.
you hug manlily as Grinner and Dane are hugging in the in Dane's office. Penth and Imogen, you're both sitting around the fire. What are you guys doing?
I'm exhausted. I'm yawning heavily. I haven't been sleeping well for the last little bit, and the warmth of the fire is seeping into my skin and flesh, and it's making me drowsy.
And so you're starting to nod off a little bit when you hear a pouring sound from the bar. And you know that Dane is in his study right now.
I turn to see what it is.
Turn and look, and you see a person that you recognize.
Esteban.
You're looking tired over there, big one. Have they tired you out?
When did you sneak in?
Oh, I've been listening this whole time.
Of course you have. The shadows lurking. What are you here for, Esteban?
Well, I'm here to see you again. We've made such a good friendship on our travels, don't you think? Oh, and it's the elven boy I shared a bed with. How are you, young
Alar.
Alar?
I don't even look at him because I know who he is. And I'm kind of like, I wouldn't say we shared a bed, but because now I'm like all embarrassed in front of Ashara because I'm noticing she's particularly alluring by the firelight.
Ah, I see. And who is this?
We didn't share a bed. That never happened. It's not like he said. It's not.
And who is this beautiful lady that I have not had the chance to meet yet?
His name's Karthus.
And Karthus says, "Hey, shut it." Ah, you're a clever one. But I meant the one by the fire who looks so pretty in the flickering flames. And she doesn't seem to be saying anything. She's staring off into the flames. And at this point, the door to Dane's office opens again. And Grinner and Dane emerge and walk towards you.
Grinner, Esteban's back to spy on us, I believe. I turn
Esteban or El Zamir. What was your name again?
My name is Esteban, but I heard about what you are doing. I've been listening this entire time, as I just said to your friend Penth. And I think that it is a mission that you might want to have a shadow behind you.
Seems like we always have a shadow behind us anyway with you, Esteban.
Well, up to this point, yes. But I will not be following you towards the deep forest unless I have some compensation. But I can assure you that my skills could be quite useful, depending on what you run into.
I turn to Penth and Imogen, and I say, hold on, Esteban. Guys, I've spoken to Ashara while we were looking at the map. Whatever's out there seems to be pretty powerful. And if we do get what's in you right now, Imogen, we are going to need backup. Now, I'm not saying him, but I'm weary to think that just the three of us could handle this on our own. What do you guys think?
Well, there's 4 of us now because Ashara has come.
Yes, that's true.
And you are coming, are you not, Ashara?
Yes, definitely, Imogen. I'm coming.
See, she's coming.
Grinner, I don't think any more muscle is going to make a difference. I feel really useless as it is helping Imogen. I can protect his body, but his mind is beyond me.
Well, do you think you can take everything? Just because you beat me in an arm wrestle, you can beat whatever beasts you run into in the Tirashan? Huh? By yourself?
I don't believe that beating someone in arm wrestle means I can take anything on, but more strength isn't necessarily the answer.
More strength is helpful.
Grinner, I'll let you make the decision here.
No,
I know
no.
my role to play. I know my role to play here. I will protect Imogen and help him get whatever it is that is troubling his spirit out.
And I turn to Penth and Imogen and I say, this isn't just my decision. This is all of us. Penth, if you don't think that it makes sense to bring them, then I want to hear why.
What is it we expect to face that's in the physical realm anyways? It seems it's an issue of the spirit.
And
Well, I
Dane
do know
speaks
that
up.
the marshes... Sorry, go ahead.
Dane speaks up, and he says, there are a number of creatures in the marshes, but even worse in the Tirashan, from what I've heard. I've done a little bit of reading on this, and I know there are a number of bears, first of all, the regular creatures that you'd run into here, wolves, bears, mountain lions, and that sort of thing. Strange lizard-like creatures in the marshes that I've never seen, but they are short, long, walk on all fours, kind of like a miniature dragon, so to speak. And actually, come to think of it, I have read that in the Tirashan that there are dragonlings, and if there are dragonlings, that means that there may be dragons there as well. A dragon is not a beast that many men could fight. Seasoned dragon hunters, bands of them go missing or perish with the mouths and the flames of a fire dragon.
And I walk over to Penth and I say, Penth, a minute. Let's speak. Let's speak, not let us. That's not me. Let's speak. Let's talk. And I walk into the stairwell that leads upstairs, sort of a private area.
Grinner, what do you have to say that's private?
You and I have agreed to protect Imogen. I don't want to make any decision without both of us agreeing on it. Not from here on out. Here's my logic, and I'm not trying to convince you. I'm just letting you know my thoughts. My only goal is to make sure Imogen is safe and that we get whatever's in him out. In my mind, a little bit of extra gold to ensure that happening is a fair trade. I don't know what lurks up there. Dane speaks of dragonlings and thus dragons. We speak of shadow entities that control people, as well as what sounds to be a cult that is summoning him. If you and I walk into a room with 20 other enemies, I don't think that you and I have the power to carry on. And if Imogen should go into another one of his spells where he becomes immobilized, then you, Ashara, and I are the only thing standing between him and them.
Do you trust these other people? We don't even know them, Grinner. It took us this long to trust one another. And yes, you're right. Our job is first and foremost to make sure Imogen is safe. But we work in a lean way. We move quietly and secretively. Do you think a lumbering man like Karthus or a flaunting peacock like Esteban would really help us?
I don't know. But I do know, as you and I were paid to protect Renner, that paid help will help Imogen. Will they be a benefit to us? Maybe not. But if we pay them for the sole purpose of keeping Imogen safe and working with us, I know that I would sleep better at night knowing that there's 2 more sets of eyes watching him.
And I look over at the other 2 men away, standing from where we are. I don't trust that one there, and I gesture toward Esteban. He sneaks in the shadows and spies. That's not someone I can trust. I'd rather have his eyes not on me or in anything that I'm involved in.
Fair enough. Then if we bring Karthus, then we'll bring Karthus. Unless there's anything that you could do to earn Esteban to earn our trust, any sort of test that you feel comfortable with giving him.
Esteban, I can't think of anything. Grinner, if a man who hides and spies on people is cowardice.
Fair enough.
He'd have to change everything he is for him. He strikes. There's nothing he can do, Grinner.
Okay. Okay. Then we walk out. We approach Karthus. We hire him, and I would say we depart the next morning.
Okay. So you hire Karthus, and Esteban graciously takes your refusal and goes back up into his room. And in terms of a route, you are looking at the map and deciding on how to go about this. And what do you decide there?
I think we would trust Ashar's wisdom to... Oh, you know what? No, sorry. I meant to do this. Before we leave the room, sorry, with Penth and I would tell Penth about the cache that Dane revealed to me. I would explain to him that my hope is for... Well, I'll do it in character.
First of all, who paid Karthus?
Well, here's my reasoning. Because we haven't paid him yet. And my hope is that if there is gold at the cache, that will self-pay itself.
Right.
That's sort of my reason for divulging that information. So, but I would... I won't roleplay it because I know we want to push the tempo. But what I would sort of say to Penth, in the same way that you earn your money for the kills that you get, me bringing this information gives me the first right of refusal on the... Because I want the rune stone, basically. I want the rune in my bow, and that's what I basically explained to him.
To me, I don't even know what a rune is. I go, you want to put a fancy rock in your weapon, and you're worried that I want this fancy rock.
Not just the rock, the gold as well. I want to pay off the people who are following us, the Karthus, as well as Ashara, with the gold that we find there.
I'm a mercenary, Grinner by trade. We support the children that you spoke to in my village, the ones who look up to you. They are able to eat at night because of the work that the Emir mercenaries do. I need to bring something back to my people. I can't come back empty-handed. Now, I've already spent money to make sure Imogen is safe. I'm going to be leaving with less than I came with. I need something. I can't go back empty-handed or they won't accept me back in. They'll accept me as a failure.
No, of course. In any case...
I don't need much. I just need enough to prove that I did my job properly and that they will send me again. Otherwise, they will find another purpose for me. I'm already small, Grinner.
Fair enough.
Renner did say... Sorry. Renner did say that upon your arrival, he would have more money for you. Just as tight of money right now.
Well, regardless, Penth, no one will leave this party with less money than they started with. But I think whatever gold is there should be paid back to the people who have spent.
And as long as it's... And anything I kill, that is my right. As I would not take that from you.
I understand. But I think it's important that we talk about the gold going to the people that we are bringing with us. And thus, we do need to make a detour to the marshes, which is why it matters where we're going first.
Why do we need to make the detour? Sorry, to get the gold to pay for the
That's
people?
where the cash is, yeah.
So you're explaining to Penth that we need to go to the marsh in order to get the gold to pay for Karthus, because I don't have 2 gold pieces on me. So yes, if he costs that much,
I'd pay him out front, but basically I would use that because I want the gold, and I want the runestone. Runestone from a meta standpoint is going to give me more damage. I hope. I guess it depends on what the enchantment is, but more so from the actual standpoint, we're very light in the gold pouches.
Runestone of nerf arrows.
Yeah, could you imagine?
Yeah.
Runestone of lesser damage. All right, and then we would head out with the hope of pushing our conversation to the travel. I would say depend. Let's talk about this tomorrow when we're on the road.
Now, before you guys go, sorry, I do want to look at the map, and you guys can decide how you want to get there. Ashara mentions as well that that town that she stayed at, Bleakwater. It's in this direction. If we were to, she suggests that we could go this way, up north and around.
Do we have any friends in Val Foret?
You don't.
Can I roll contacts or something?
No, contacts would be used to make a contact.
Right. You're right.
Yeah.
So we don't know anyone in Val Foret.
So how are we going to get there?
Well, if she's recommending swinging straight across, well, the only thing is we need to get to Durgan's outpost. So we might as well take the Imperial Highway to the splitting point, to the upwards most curvature, and cut straight across to the outpost, and then cut across the marshes to Ashura's.
Does it not make more sense to cut straight through the marshes and just do a straight line from, like, go? Yeah, I see what you're saying. And then you're going straight west. You don't want to go south along the road and then head northwest? Like go to where it says the Imperial Highway.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, so basically that little curvature.
Oh, okay.
I'll show you on my.
I think he's showing us now.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
I was just thinking basically right here.
Yep.
So we're in Val Royale. We'll come up here, take the Imperial Highway to this little cubby, and then we'll split right across to the outpost or wherever that thing was, and then we'll split up to Bleakwater.
All right.
Do we have to worry about those fancy Templars on the highway?
If you're ever going on the Imperial Highway, you're going to have to worry about Templars. They have it monitored regularly.
Controlled. In which case, then we will not take the Imperial Highway. We will take the south of the Imperial Highway.
Well, yeah, if you're able to go south this way.
Can we just hug the river?
Yeah. You could hug the river.
Let's hug the river. Hopefully that's a bridge over the river.
I believe somewhere around here, there's an actual road. Hugging the river might be difficult because the terrain around the river is, generally not the most even. But there is an old road that has been there for centuries, from what I've known. Actually, there would be a road from the trade route.
Right.
Many years ago.
That makes sense. If it was a secret trade route, then it would need to have its own road so as not to arouse suspicion.
But I do know of it, and they call it the Pale Road.
Why?
Well, it's frequently covered in fog. Moisture from the shining sea tends to settle on that spot. It's captured by the dense forestation there.
As an archer, I don't like fog, but I think that's much safer than bringing 2 elves along the Imperial Highway, especially one that's hunted quite viciously by the Templar. I think that's a safer bet.
Well, and Ashara speaks up. She's been actually in a conversation this whole time with Imogen. But while Imogen continues to try to keep her attention, she looks up at you guys and says, okay, so it's decided. We're going to take the Pale Road west to Durgan's outpost, to somewhere towards Bleakwater.
Unless anyone has any reason to say otherwise. And I turn to Dane and Karthus.
Karthus says, it works for me. As long as I'm getting paid, I don't mind if we travel land or sea or foam.
All right. Then we leave at first dawn. Not second. First dawn. We'd leave at dawn's early light.
Very well. So you finish your drinks, head upstairs, say your goodnights, and settle in for the night. to wake up in an early morning?
As I wake up, I stir from my sleep, and again, I wake up with my just drenched in sweat, panting heavily. A horrible dream, and it's a reoccurring dream, one where I'm running and I can feel the cold air in my lungs, and I can feel my feet against the frosted grass and long leaves that cut at my bare feet, and I'm running and running from something. I don't know what it is, but as I run, the fog begins to rise around me, and to the point where it starts, the light of the moon is still coming through the fog, but I can't see through it. And I'm running and running in the fog, and I can feel it in my lungs and in my nostrils, and I start to choke as the fog turns into smoke, black smoke around me. And as my feet are crunching on the frost leaves of the grass, it starts crunching louder and louder until it starts feeling like bones or shells. And I reach down to feel the bottom of my feet. They're dripping now, warm with blood. And I reach down and I pick up what it is I'm stepping on. And I feel in my hands that it's a shell, like an egg. And as I pull it up, the shell, as it comes within vision in the fog and smoke now, has turned to Imogen's head, severed head. And I wake up. And this is the second time I've had this dream. And as soon as I wake up, I go to my pack, open it up, and I pull out the picture, the painting that I stole from the tavern of the dragon in the moonlight. I just stare at it and wait for Grinner or someone to knock on my door.
And you wait. And you wait. And you wait. And we're going to do the mid-game pose!
All right, I'm posting the mid-game post right now. The word is dragons. That's right. The first, the second, the third comment, as well as the 20th, are going to get XP that they can then contribute to the game.
Ooh, XP.
XP.
Read all about it.
So, what about this, guys? Not this, the community, the guys that I'm playing with. What do you think about that? Would that be like not really necessary, or could it be a fun? I'm not really sure it's something Grinner would do.
Thinking about what?
What I just posted in the chat.
Oh, let's see what we got.
Oh, if I found out about that,
yeah, but it also could be interesting.
Would be really detrimental to our relationship.
I know, but at the same time, like, see, I don't think Grinner would do it, but from a role playing standpoint, it would
well, Rogue might, because if his justification is like,
well, that's my thinking.
If you believe you can get away with it because it's for the best of the group, do you think you would?
I think no, because the only way that this would come out and it would go again would be if it was needed, and if it was needed, I would be glad that it came out. You know what I mean?
Sorry, I'm not seeing what we're actually looking at here.
What I just pasted
inside the chat.
Oh, gotcha.
Ooh. Like I kind of think that would be, because like, what's my real motivate? You know what? Let's do that. I think I'll do that.
Yeah.
Well, at the end of the day, Grinner cares about Imogen, and I have to make sure that that's my goal. And if I felt a certain way, which I think I do, I don't know. We'll figure it out at the end of the mid-game post. All right, we have the winners for the mid-game post. We have first, second, and third goes to Lorene Rin Regan, John Regan, and Jake Ortega. Well done, guys. All right, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 is Mr. Mike Fazio. And that's it. Those are it. That's the first, second, third, as well as the 20th post of the word dragons. Well done, guys. You get XP each. Thank you for playing the mid-game post. That it? That's all I have.
Hooray!
Yay! More clapping to fill out the time. How's everyone enjoying the game so far?
I'm having fun. Mike, glad to have you back.
Glad to have you back, Mikey.
It's nice to be back. I had to reboot my whole computer. I tried Firefox, Google, Chrome, and Microsoft Edge, and I just wasn't getting back on here. But that's in the past. Let's move
Microsoft
forward.
Edge. What is that?
It
Uh-oh.
Oh no!
jinxed
Is that what he's using?
It's this.
Microsoft Edge is the Windows 10 answer to Internet Explorer, the one everybody loved, remember?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's bad. You have to use it at school.
oh no, just glitchy.
Oh, there he is.
Hey. Okay.
Okay, so without further ado,
Let's keep going before.
yeah, let's go right back in to the next day, I guess, right?
Yep. So you're able to find horses. That's not a problem. You're able to get a good deal on some horses. Only 10 silver pieces per, which is good.
It's
We
like
didn't tell them exactly how long you were renting them for, but
Yeah. We need horses. How long? We just need horses. Oh,
Buddy
yeah.
Jack's old horse.
Yeah, we'll take it.
Judy.
Judy.
So you guys all have horses. Imogen, are you riding alone or are you riding with someone? Because you do not know how to ride. So are you going to risk not knowing and doing it yourself or what?
That is an excellent question, and I appreciate you asking. How is Ashara riding?
Oh, she's fantastic. She gets up on her horse quickly and deftly.
Then I would, because I don't want to look, because I know if I ride with Pent, I'll look extra small. And same with what's his name, Carthage. And I know that I'm not nearly as charming as Grinner. So, and I also feel like I'd be okay to like hold around her waist so that I can hang on.
So as you're thinking of all of this, you find yourself staring.
Mm-hmm.
You're staring at her up on the horse. And it's a foggy, misty morning, but you can still see her very clearly. And she notices you staring and says, "Where's your horse, Imogen?"
Oh, I've never actually learned to ride. Mostly because I think it's cruel to own animals. They should be free and not be our servants. So I tend to walk.
Not if you take care of them. Well, grab a horse. You got to learn somehow. And there's no way you're getting on here. And she...
Oh, yeah. No, of course not. Of course not. No, it's just... No.
And you hear Carthus beside you. "You can ride with me."
I hop on with Carthus. Good idea.
And the horse collapses. Yeah. No, that would probably be best for I mean, I'm sure it would be right to learn,
Just
but we
get
don't
on.
have time.
Get on the
Yes.
horse. Come on.
And
Just get up. Come
for
on.
expediency.
Hey,
And I will
kid.
kind of climb up and on.
Yeah, and it's a really big horse, so you really have to spread your legs. And Ben,
We see everything.
As you're standing there, shaking your head at Imogen trying to get on this horse, you feel a tap on your shoulder.
And I look. Who's tapping me on my shoulder?
It's Dane.
Okay, so I'm staying beside my horse, about to saddle.
Yeah.
Dane walks up and taps me. Dane, what is it?
It's Penth, right?
Yes.
You helped yourself to my painting on my wall.
No one saw. Don't worry.
Yeah, but then you said, I saw it afterwards. I know what painting was.
Right, right.
Listen,
But no one saw me do it.
Listen, you're a friend of Grinner's, so I'm gonna let it slide.
Yeah,
and-
Grinner told me as long as no one sees.
All right. Well, you're making this very difficult for me.
Right.
Listen, just take this. And he reaches. He's holding something in his hand. You realize, and he passes it over to you. And it's a book, a tome.
What shall I do with that?
You read it. You're obviously interested in dragons, so I thought you might like this one.
This is a book of dragons.
Concordance, more really. That says right in the title, the Dragon Concordance. Written by
Concordance. And words about dragons.
there's words about dragons inside.
And what will the words tell me about dragons?
And he kind of relaxes a little bit, and you see kind of a not patronizing, but just kind of an understanding done over his face. He says, "Oh, well, there are these words that make sentences, just like you and I are talking, and they talk about where you might be able to find dragons, what tactics you might use if you ever run into a dragon."
The book will talk to me with sentences.
I'm actually excited if I overhear this because again I've always studied natural lore and nature and that sort of thing, and that is something that obviously is fascinating.
Definitely.
When I speak to the mountains, they sometimes talk back. Is it like that in books? Do they hold my words for time? And I open the books and I yell at it. Ah!
And he jumps back a little bit. He says, "Whoa, no, I'm not the person to explain this to you. I had no idea." Wow.
And I will I'll hop off the horse very clumsily, but then shake myself off and run over and we thank you for the book, Penth. This is a great gift.
And I whispered to Imogen, "Careful, your words, they stain the book."
No,
I grab the book from him and I put it in my robes and I go over to and I hug him. "Thank you for book."
Yeah, anytime. Maybe your friend can help you read it sometime. Imogen, you know how to read, right?
You stopped there for a second, Imogen.
Or Alar.
Oh, sorry. My apologies. Yeah, I'm glitching. Crap. Sorry, guys. So where'd you hear last? Where did we leave off?
You said thank you.
Okay, sorry. Penth, as you once guided me, as you saw my body as frail and squishy. And now as you've seen, I can now handle myself in a fight.
And I say, "Very well." And I slap him heartily on the back to knock the wind out of him.
Yes. Well, very similarly, with this gift, I can help you learn and grow in ways you've never thought imaginable and help you on your quest to find this dragon.
And I look at him kind of like I'm kind of ashamed. I'm like, I can fight the dragon. I'll be fine. And I get on my horse.
Think of this, Penth, as a strategy guide.
A book.
Or it is wise, and it is prudent to learn the strategies and most common tactics of your enemy.
Will you help me with this, Imogen?
Without a doubt, Penth, for you have guided me in similar ways.
Thank you,
Dane.
Dane.
Give me a chance to repay that favor.
Imogen, then you ride with me so you can read the book and teach me the ways of book.
I will not be able to read as we ride it. I get horse sick.
I don't understand. And I put him on my horse.
At the same time.
And I get on behind him. Read the book, Imogen.
So, you guys begin moving, and your horses trot along a side road toward the Imperial Highway. And eventually you do reach the Imperial Highway. And once again, it is an overcast, foggy day. And the four of you on your horses and Faust riding, 5 of you on your horses and Faust riding, walking alongside. You look across the Imperial Highway, left and right, and it stretches for miles, as far as the eye can see in either direction.
And I'll do a perception roll, just in case.
Sure.
Because I was here the whole time. 11, 12, 13, 16.
All right. So looking across, you see that there's nothing there. However, when you look looking down each side of the road, there's nothing there. But looking directly across, it looks in the distance, the forest is thickening. And you can also sense just a little bit of smoke or fog that's already settled in the morning.
But no sense of danger or anything like that.
No sense of danger right now, no.
And I look at the party. How are they all doing? Because I was like in a stupor while I was
I'm writing,
Yeah,
I'm
you seem
holding
a
a
little
book
distant.
sideways and looking through pages, kind of swiping at it as I'm flipping through it.
like, oh,
And
Pip can't
listening
read. Big
Every
surprise
so
there.
often.
I say, try screaming at it, Pent. That might do you good.
I tried.
He did. He literally did.
Anyone else acting peculiar? Peculiar?
Nope. So far, no. Karthus, you can't see his face because he's covered by his helmet, and Ashara is just
Shooting down an Imogen.
just making small talk with Imogen.
Fair
Shooting
enough.
them down. Shooting them down.
So you guys continue on past the highway,
Yeah.
and eventually you find the semblance of a road. The ground feels a little bit firmer beneath your horse's hooves, and even though it's covered completely by the cover of leaves, and you make your way in, and Ashara says to Imogen, "Hey, so you said earlier something about slaves and being in the circle. What was that about?"
When I was taken from my family and from the forest and from the freedom, the circle, they treated me like a slave. I was cleaning floors and washing dishes, and they said it was all part of my training to become more disciplined, but I was a prisoner. I was a slave. Yet you chose to stay with them. Why did you not run? Why do you not value your freedom the way a Dalish elf should?
Well, I had those same questions when I first moved to Valroyo. I didn't understand why we would move away from the woods into such a shoddy condition.
And you see the alienage. Even freedom in the cities is not free.
Well, I realized after a little bit of time that the tower and the circle really was not so bad compared to that way of life. And my mother really instilled it in me. I'm really thankful for it, but she taught me how to give back to those who have less than you. And
Would
even
it not
though I thought
make
I
more
deserved...
sense to leave, to gather together and just walk away? Why could we not start again in the Tirashan?
The Tirashan isn't a place that you want to start again, Imogen, she says in a flat, almost cold tone, and she jostles her horse and begins riding a little bit ahead of you.
Now, obviously, I don't understand this because my father was a keeper and leader of the clan, and I don't understand why he chose to go there then, because he always made wise decisions for us before. And so I'm really feeling like once I get control of this demon and whatever it is, and I can control it, that I will work towards becoming a new keeper, drawing and freeing the people from the circle and freeing from the alienage, and we will start again. Maybe not in the Tirashan, but we will start again.
Oh, youthful ignorance. I'm going to ride back alongside Penth as we're riding, and because I obviously noticed him the other night having sort of concern about dreams he was having, things like that. But I don't refer to that just yet. And I kind of sort of stoically turn to him as I'm riding, and I say, Penth, I want you to know that I would do anything if it meant protecting Imogen.
As would I.
Even if that means doing what you might not think is right.
It's important that you stay true to your beliefs, Grinner.
I respect you, Penth. I think over the past few months, you and I have grown close. And I want you to know that I don't wish to lose that closeness, but sometimes I need to do as you said, what I think is right.
I trust you, Grinner.
Okay. And I write up ahead again. And the reason I'm saying this is last night, after everyone went to bed, I actually pulled aside Esteban. And I told him that I am going to hire him. And I gave him the money from my own silver. And I've told him to follow us as he always has in the shadows, and only to ever strike if he's needed. Meaning that if he ever feels that Imogen is in danger, or that we are in danger, or if we get kidnapped or something like that, that he is
Completely unrelated, though. I hit Grinner in the back of the head with my book. I'm just kidding.
But that's what I do tell him, and that, just for people watching, that's what I was debating with the mid-game post to see whether I
So
should do that.
Esteban is there now, somewhere in the shadows.
Well, I don't know. Maybe. I assume so. Maybe he could have taken the money and run. but the point is that the point is that my justification was what I just pointed out to Penn. That I disagree with Penn on this. That personally, Grinner thinks that Penn's ego and his dislike for shadowy figures is blinding the benefit that an extra arm could do to us. But because I've worked so hard to build a relationship with Penn, I decided to do it behind his back so as not to start, disagreeing up front. My hope is that he's never needed, and that, as we agreed, he'll fade off in the shadows so long as Imogen gets to his place safely. But we'll see what happens.
Very, very interesting. All right. Yes, we will see what happens. So
We will see what happens.
Yeah.
So
Watch Esteban be the bad guy. He's like the fucking bad guy, and I invited him along.
Stab.
Well, he
Honestly,
could be.
that's
Sneak up behind
what
us
I
the
was
whole
thinking
time.
as soon as we learned that there was like a cult.
My
It makes
logic
sense 'cause
is,
he's been
but
following us
here's
forever.
my logic. Out of all the characters, don't you just think he'd be the bad guy? So I trust Justin. I don't think he'd write such an obvious bad guy, twirling his
But
mustache in the
maybe
shadows.
it's like the whole cup game where it's like, or would you think that I would think that?
Maybe. I think he seems too obviously bad to actually be bad. I think if he was,
Inconceivable.
yeah, exactly right. If he was actually bad, it'd be like Karthus or Dane or something. I also think of Gil, right? Like Gil, you didn't know he was the bad guy until the very, very end.
I'm pretty sure it's Imogen. We all know it's Imogen.
Oh, that's
He's
true.
the bad guy.
So it takes you a while to make your way down this road, and as you travel, the fog gets thicker and thicker and thicker, and the road gets harder and harder to discern through the leaves. And every now and then you have to stop and kick some leaves around to ensure that you are actually still on the packed dirt that used to be. But
Can we not get a Shara on point?
why Ashara?
Because she has elf eyes and she grew up in the woods. She's Dalish.
That's true. That's true.
You're so racist.
No, that's just factual. Dalish can't drive, and but they can read. In the
They
dark.
can't ride.
They can't ride. Yeah.
To be perfectly honest, she's kind of left that life behind her the past 10 years. It's not actually.
How old is she?
Imogen might have a better direction.
She grew up in the city in the tower.
Yeah, it's 10
Fair
years ago since she was here.
I have
Fair
pretty
enough.
Too.
searching if we're looking for anything in particular.
Oh yeah, the Avar grew up in like the mountains, the Frostbacks. He's got to be
What-
okay.
Yeah, what are we looking for?
Well, basically, we're just following a road. We're trying to make sure that you guys get to the place that you're looking for and stay on track. So, what we are going to do is an advanced ability test.
Oh,
Eric Johnson just commented, said, "Aw, now I know that Gil is bad." Sad face.
Oh no!
I was like, "Shit, sorry, my bad." Well, who watches Dragon
now
Age
you just
2?
told everybody else. Yeah,
But who watches Dragon Age 2 without watching Dragon Age 1?
you knew
don't
this.
know
Yeah,
about the
they knew
complex
Dragon Age was.
relationships.
They knew Dragon Age was coming back. Their homework was to go and watch them.
That was your homework.
Or Gil
I was lying.
a good guy, but you just only saw, one.
Well,
of
in
the
all
parts of the
fairness, he
story.
wasn't a bad guy.
We don't make two-dimensional characters here.
Yeah, I think he was such a whoa.
But I'm gonna
didn't they-
let me punch something else.
Someone called me a fucking Shemlin. What's with you making up these racist words?
Sorry, I shouldn't be adding to racism
Right?
out there. Potential
God.
racism. Okay, so each day that you travel, you're riding your horses maybe for 10 to 12 hours, or 8, depending on how long you want to do it. But each day is going to be an ability check. So what I want you guys to do is roll. And this isn't exactly how we're doing it, but we're trying to beat a threshold, okay? And I'm going to make the threshold set at 30.
Whoa.
And we're not going to... Actually, we will use one person, one NPC for you guys to help you roll. And you can add whatever skill or focus you believe will help you in this situation. Obviously, navigating through the fog, there are certain skills that will work and rowing won't work. So
What about cunning?
cunning is a skill, yeah, that you would use, but we're looking for focuses. So you can add your cunning for sure, but would you be adding cunning like navigation? Or
Oh,
add
you
cunning
can't.
nature lore?
Oh, I have cunning navigation. You know what? I'll do the fucking roll. Well,
So
I mean,
all
I
four
will.
of you guys are rolling.
I know, but I keep asking other people to do it, and I should have just done it myself. I got 3 in cunning plus 2 to navigation. So I have a plus 5.
Sweet.
So we're rolling. It's all cunning, you said?
It can be cunning or perception if you're better at that for seeing.
I'll do perception first. Can I use perception searching?
Nope.
I just got 20.
Actually,
So
yeah, we can do searching.
someone
20.
only needs 10, and we're good.
I think it's gonna happen.
I got 13.
13. Okay. So, no problem. Between the two of you, Penth dusting off the road and making sure that you guys are staying on track by checking the actual road itself. Grinner by
Laser eyes. I carve my own path with a 20.
your navigation sense is impeccable. You know
Well,
what-
it is one of the only things I have. So
yeah. So, you guys make it the first day and feel very confident that you are still on track.
how's everyone feeling? Oh, I'm so sorry. Continue.
Oh, that's fine. You stop. You're around a campfire.
Is everyone in good spirits? Is anyone feeling sort of like the weight already?
Well, already I think being surrounded by the fog and just that same imagery coming back is making me a little edgy.
You know what? I'm going to walk over to Penth because I've noticed this now for a few days, and I know Penth is a very proud person, but I also consider him a friend. That whatever that means. So I walk over to Penth by the fire, and I kind of sit down and I say, I've noticed that you've been off for the last few days. Something troubling you?
Off. Grinner, what do you mean?
I've noticed that you haven't been sleeping very well. You tend to wake up in a bit of a daze.
I must be getting myself ready for a fight to come or something. I have these visions at night that disturb my sleep.
Penth, you are one of the strongest spirits that I have ever met. You and I have had our differences, but I would never, ever doubt that when you put your mind to something, your strength and your spirit will bring you up to a point that you can accomplish it. Whatever troubles you, whatever bothers your night's sleep, know that you will defeat it. And I'm going to give a morale roll because I have morale.
Okay.
That's part of the reason I want to do it. So I guess willpower plus morale.
Sure.
So it'd be plus 4. Yeah. So 8, 9, 10, 11.
Okay, so I will say that Penth, if you were to run into a dragon for the next 24 hours, you won't feel this fear as intensely.
I look at Grinner after he talks to me about this, and I say, Grinner, that means a lot knowing, after all, when I wake up in the night, I see you two are suffering from a similar plight.
Did I say that though?
I can see your eyes. I wake up in the night and you stir in your sleep. You sweat the way I do.
How have I been having bad dreams too?
Well, at the beginning, when you
Oh,
guys
that's
were
right, yeah.
runners, yeah, you were very distant.
Yeah. Yeah. It seems that both of us are plagued by visions.
I feel reassured, though, that if you can push through that, then I too can withstand.
You know, if you ever need to talk, I'm
Grinner,
My
I
friend.
need, and I say thank you. I say, Grinner, perhaps my answers will be found in this. And I show him the book that was given to me by Dane, which is a book on the dragons. And I said, Imogen has promised that he will help me understand this.
Well, I learned how to read myself too, and it can take a bit of time. If you ever want me to maybe go over there and read it out loud privately to myself, if you ever happen to want to overhear it, you just let me know. Since we're probably going to be there in like a day or 2 days. Learning to read, time.
Good point.
Reading out loud, time.
I know I have been working with Imogen. Have we made any progress?
Not this night. This is still just the first night.
Oh, okay.
And you guys,
I say, how hard can it be, Grinner? I learned to play darts in the night.
and as you wrap up your conversation, you hear Karthus by the fire swear, "Fuck!" And he's got a pot over a fire, and he's just holding it with his gauntlets. He's like, "Damn it, this is hot!" Damn it! Ugh! And he puts it on the ground and he kicks it.
Karthus,
He
you're not
walks away.
that stupid. And I walk over and I say, you do know you can use a handle or sticks. And I pick it up with 2 sticks and I lay it on the fire.
It
Or
fell
also
in the
perhaps
fire.
not transfer the heat through your gauntlets.
Oh, let's hear him out. He probably has a good reason.
Wait, why are you the voice of reason?
It doesn't matter. Just I was just hungry. All right, and I didn't. Whatever.
Does he look bothered by something else,
Probably.
or is he just grumpy?
Better ways to do this. No, he's just a grumpy guy. You've always known him to be kind of grumpy and stupid. And
So I use the opportunity for another morale, and I tell a story of Karthus. Actually, this reminds me of a time that Karthus and I were camping in the southern woods of Orlais. Do you remember this?
Ashara looks over amused as she eats from her bowl of soup.
And as I do this, I'm going to see what I can gather to make tea. Calming tea out of the herbs and stuff.
And I tell the story about Karthus and the maiden who turned out not to be a maiden.
Why are we telling this story? This is unnecessary.
Karthus, we're a band now. We're a group. We're working to a common goal. And when working to a common goal, much like times of war, with Karthus and I know much about, there's no better way to trust the man beside you than to share a few stories to embarrass him down. And we go around and we tell similar stories without wasting too much of the GM's time. But I will roll morale.
Perfect.
Much better. So that's 11, 16 plus 5, so 21.
Okay, so I will say that the entire party is boosted.
Nice.
And so for the next day,
What about a sleep-filled night?
Oh, a sleep-filled night. Let's
Just
do
sort of-
that.
Well, I was going to suggest it with Chris. I was going to say, what if my morale gives him a, rather than a boosted dragon, but maybe like a night without interruption.
Yeah. I like
So
that.
now
That's a
I
good
would
idea.
apply it to the party. So you can still give Chris's bonus because it was just for Chris, but maybe everyone gets a good night's sleep.
Everybody gets a good night's sleep tonight. And you feel very rejuvenated the next morning as you wake up. But as you clean up the campsite and pack your things up, hop on your horses, get ready to go, you realize that the fog is thicker than it was even yesterday. So now it's going to be a little bit trickier to keep moving. You know where the road is right now, but the target number is now 35.
35.
I need you all to roll again, whatever your roll would be.
15 for me.
Well, actually, could I? Well, again, I don't know, because I was going to say I could also use natural
Yep.
lore. You
You
said.
can definitely do that.
I got 15 as well, so we're at 30.
Okay.
Nice.
Oh wait, so we still need more. Good thing I can do the math.
Do the math.
Do the math, the math.
All right. So we've got. Oh, you can see me now. That's exciting. And then I add 3 as well.
Okay. So you guys got 14, 15, 15. Oh, yeah. So no problems at all. Ashara was helping as well. And despite the fog, you put your heads together. You stay close together, most importantly. And you manage to stay on the road this day. And you settle in again for another night around the campfire. And similar sort of banter.
I was gonna say this night feels a bit more somber, though. I think, for
Mhm.
whatever reason, I think as we're leaving farther from Val Royale, and sort of the weight of the quest is weighing on me, I feel less inclined to socialize and drink as well.
I'm eager to drink now that I slept well last night. I pretend as if nothing's going to harm me now. I said I have conquered my fears. I'm ready to celebrate.
Okay.
I, on the other hand, am going to spend my time between reading some of the book to Penth,
Okay.
kind of flipping through and looking for if they talk about dragons being indigenous to certain types of terrain, and so what type will mostly come against, and then seeing if there's also a section on tactics or strengths and weaknesses, that sort of thing, and then also again making the tea as I always do, and with Ashara and seeing what she knows about blood magic.
Why do you want to know about blood magic?
It's
She says as you're gathering leaves.
again through the time in my brief time in the tower, I've learned about the different types of magic, but yet blood magic was never discussed, and it's something I've recently heard about. And I just want to know your thoughts, what you know, and that sort of thing.
Well, there are various beliefs about the safety of blood magic. Yes, it is just a form of magic, just like any other form. Spirit magic, creation magic, which we all know to be safe and positive. But while the Tevinter in the north believe that it is the main form of magic, and many Tevinter magisters practice it, I am from more of a southern perspective that it's just too dangerous, too risky. The more you use blood magic, the weaker you make your soul somehow to possession by demons.
And as she goes on, like starts going on this part, as soon as she said I'm from the south and have the southern perspective, I actually kind of lose focus, and now I'm actually just focusing physically on her and how she moves and how her voice sounds, and again how she looks in the light of the fire. But in the occasional, yes,
a lot of Game of Thrones-esque bloodline love going on here, I think.
Well, actually, you guys aren't of the same bloodline.
Yeah, so just shut up, jerk.
You did kind of grow up together as kids, but you are not the same bloodline. In fact, there were rumors. You did kind of hope that it would have been an arranged thing for the two of you. But it's not how it worked out. So what happened with you then, Imogen? Your father seemed set on taking you with him, but he didn't. Praise the Hala. So, what did you do? Praise the Hala, not praise Allah. The Hala is a deer.
Praise
Allah.
I thought you said praise and holla. Yeah, praise and holla.
Awesome.
Yes, no, my father. I don't know how to feel about my father. I understand the power of the circle and of the tower, yet he didn't give up much resistance when they came and took me. I sometimes wonder if he really wanted me in the first place. And that's part of the reason why I feel like I'm strong enough now that I can confront him on this. And I want to know why he was so willingly able to give up his son.
And with a distant look in her eyes, gazing at the ground just in front of her, she says, maybe he was trying to protect you. But anyways, it's getting late, Imogen. I should go to bed. Thanks for all your help with the leaves. This should come in handy.
Anytime. It's very little I wouldn't do for you.
Oh God.
Anyway, so I walk back, and it's actually a new perspective. I've never thought of it in the ways of my father trying to protect me from from ending up like in the alienage. And again, looking at her, she does seem like she's content with how she lives and how she was raised and brought up in the circle. And I'm now questioning Cohen and whether or not I should be taking down the circle and breaking down the tower as I once thought I should. So I've got a lot on my mind right now of which path is the right to take.
Right.
I've never mentioned to these guys about trying to control the demon before, and I don't think I've even mentioned that I keep in contact with Cohen from time to time. And now I'm just questioning all of that, how much to let them in on.
Okay. So, you guys head in for the night, and you know that you've still got one more day to reach, based on Grinner's expert navigation experience. It's only going to take you one more day to reach the cache. So,
Or cachet.
You go to sleep, you wake up the next morning, you feel a little bit more unsettled this morning. The gloom of the fog is even more intense, and you realize that you miss color. Everything seems gray with the fog so intense, you know.
I think I will do a morale boost again, only because how often am I really going to get to use morale? We're 5 games in and I've got yet to use it. So I will, as I'm packing up my tent, I'll kind of picture the thing too and turn to everyone and be like, seems like the color is drained from the trees. Does it not?
Is that a joke?
Better already.
And actually, oddly enough, I'm actually kind of comforted by it because there's a part of it that kind of feels like the fade. And now,
is that actually a joke? Yes, Karthus. It's a joke about the season.
No, it does feel like the colors have drained from the trees, like we're in a portrait of such. When I woke up this morning, it felt gray and dreary, but I must say, it's quite breathtaking. The stark contrast, the lights and the darks, it reminds me of a painting in a book that I read when I was a child. There's a stillness and beauty in fog-filled woods. Wouldn't you agree, Karthus? And I'll try a morale, trying to get the better side of a negative day.
Try, yeah. Gonna give you a TN of 16.
16. Okay, so 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 plus 5. That's a big old 18.
No problem. I guess.
He's right. Grinner's right. The creator doesn't make bad days. It's just the way we see them.
Huh. Wow, that's some deep shit.
No, Karthus, it's not deep. You look at the black and white nature of the trees. We might call it dull and dreary. I call it simplicity and its beauty. I agree with Penth. Let's make today a good one. I didn't sleep as well as last, and I could use a bit of upward spirits as we trek on through the fog
And
today.
as if to affirm your motivation, Faust lets out a joyful bark.
And I give him a scruff. I love Faust now. Faust is my boy. And I go over to him, and I'm like, that's right, buddy. You know what, Faust? You and I from here on out, all right? And I slap his side, and I say, come on.
Don't pet him. You're ruining him. I hump on my horse.
Penth, you dog your way, I'll dog my way. And Faust and I ride up ahead to take point for the morning.
All right, so this time it's a little trickier. It's much foggier than it was yesterday. You didn't think that was possible, but hey, it's called the Pale Road for a reason.
So, put more fog in the air.
So,
and it's, again, we can use this, think of it as a veil, as a cover. It is as hard as it is for us to stay on the road and track where we're going.
You're
It does
making
also
it very,
keep us hidden.
making it very difficult for Esteban to follow you.
That's true, though. 14 is what I got, but it's actually Imogen made a really good point. Yes, it might be as tough to move forward, but it will be easier to be hidden.
I got a 12.
And I also got a 14.
Okay, so the TN is 45, so 12,
40.
14, 26.
So we have 40 right now.
52.
40, and Faust, yes, has helped you out while you're on point. So you guys manage to get through. So it's about midday. Hard to tell. The sun even can't break through this fog. But Faust sticks his nose in the air, Grinner, and you see him
What's up, boy?
pulling himself forward.
No, he's not a boy kind of dog. Faust, what gives, bitch? Sup, bitch?
And he looks up at you and points his nose in a direction off the path.
And I'm gonna roll perception in that direction. And I'm gonna do one of those cliche like, hold up, because I did take point with him. Doubles, but that doesn't really benefit me. Unless it's combat oriented. No, it's not. 6, 12, so 13 plus, sorry, this is perception?
Yeah.
So 16.
16. Okay. No problem. You try to get your eyes to adjust in the direction that Faust is now starting to walk slowly towards. And as the fog shifts, you catch a faint image of a tower. Not terribly tall, only 2 stories high maybe, partly crumbled in as the fog continues to shift even more.
Is that Tim?
I was gonna say it.
I got there first.
Hello.
No, that wasn't Tim's voice. I don't remember Tim's voice, but it wasn't that. I think it was British.
The tower.
Was it? I don't remember now. So I would motion to the others and say, "There's a tower up ahead."
You're in about the same spot that the cache should be in.
Right.
Well.
Okay. Let's play this safe. The cache should be unguarded, but at the same time, it is riches, and there could be people trying to protect it.
Not to mention a tower would give us advantage over the fog.
Well, is it crumbled, or is it? Can we reach the top?
The top is reachable. Basically, the east side of the tower, as you approach it, you see that half of it is crumbled in. The east side is crumbled. The west side, however, is still standing, and part of the ceiling is still in place.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
that could be a
up
good
there, you'd
advantage.
have to scrabble up the side of the wall.
I don't know how to play Scrabble, so that would be tough, and
Yeah.
Penth can't read.
That's tough.
So I get down from my horse, and I would. Who's the best at sneaking with me? What's your sneak, Penth?
Dexterity?
Yeah.
I have a +3 to whatever we roll.
Okay.
I have +4.
Okay. I'd probably say Penth just for funsies. I don't know, or maybe Imogen. You know what? Why not? I'd kind of be like, I'd say to Penth. I'd walk over to Penth's horse, and I'd say,
Who Imogen's riding on the back of.
yeah, okay, I'd say to both. I'd say, Penth, if you can stay with Karthus and Ashara, I think Imogen, I wouldn't mind speaking with him alone up front and giving him a little bit of, and I don't know, wink, kind of give him like a bit of responsibility. I don't know, trying to get him out there meeting boys.
Imogen, do you want to get off the horse?
Yes.
So push him off the horse.
And as I
So embarrassed because I'm sure Shara saw that.
As I guide Imogen towards the tower, I turn back to Penth and I say, if there are eyes on us, you may need to do a perimeter sweep to make sure. Do whatever you think is best, but I know you're not the one to sort of sit here.
What happens if I'm going to kill, what if I find Esteban?
Oh, well, you could, well, if you think you'd kill him, yeah, sure.
I guess I would if he's following us and we said specifically for him not to. All right,
You can do whatever you
I'm going to do a
think.
perimeter sweep.
I have no, if you killed him, I mean,
I'll check
You'd
to
be
make
Faust looks at the two of you expectantly,
Faust, you're with me.
and he nods curtly, and dog nod, and follows you into the fog as Ashara and Karthus remain behind on the road. Be careful, Imogen. Okay.
I'm still too embarrassed from being pushed off the horse to really acknowledge it.
and as I'm walking with Imogen towards the tower, I kind of say, so you seem to be, and I have my bow drawn up. No, I don't have my bow drawn because I can do it for free. And I kind of say, you seem to be very interested in Ashara, Imogen.
Well, she not beautiful. Actually, this is nice. I know we're supposed to be sneaking, and I'll try to stay quiet, but maybe at some point, I mean, you're a very charismatic man. I'm sure you've had your way with, well, not that you've had your way, you've charmed a lot of women in your time, and perhaps you could give me some tips on that. So perhaps if maybe
Imogen.
Ashara was to show some sort of yes, sir.
No. I'm gay. I'm very gay. But I appreciate them.
I'm sure you'd use
No.
men then.
Randy Jack's gay, and he looks like this, so I can't be gay grinner as well. But I'm just playing all gay characters.
I didn't think Randy Jack was gay. I thought he was just open to everything.
Yeah, he's bisexual. He appreciates and loves all types.
He's a whore.
But I think he's had more sex with men than women, so he favors on that side.
All
If
right.
that's so Imogen, I kind of crouch down in sneaking in fatherly tone as well, and I say, Imogen, the most attractive thing to a woman is confidence. I promise you. If you're confident to her, not egotistical, but confident, and you assert yourself, she'll respond to it. It's not going to help you any if I put my wiles on her. Not that it's going to do anything, but it's not going to be of any aid. Trust me, you have it within you. I'll give you a moral boost after. Well, actually, I'll do it then and there because it can apply later. I'll just say, look, Imogen, you are at the peak of your life. You are young, you are virile, you have slayed many a creature, and you've been on many a quest. Many elves would be jealous to live the life that you've lived. There's no reason that a woman like Ashara wouldn't be very interested in a man like you.
It's true.
And I call him a man. I hover on the man because I know he doesn't like being called a boy. Sorry. And that's 5 plus 5, that's 10, that's 16.
It totally works on me.
He gets a boner right there.
I'm
Courage
sorry.
boner.
I say, and then I look back to the tower and I say, anyway, the key here is restraint. We don't know if anything up there is willing to hurt us or if there's anything up there at all. For all we know, it could be a squatter. We don't blow the head off the first thing we see. Let's play it smart now, right?
Hi. Yes, sir. I mean, as my equal, yes, Grinner.
So, looking around the tower, it's hard to navigate the rubble, but you managed to get to some good vantage points that you think that someone might hide in, but nobody's there. It seems pretty clear. But go ahead and do a perception roll of some sort. Searching, smelling, seeing.
So 5, 9, 10, 11.
No, that I do not have very good.
That's okay.
So I'm going to steal another 5 from the community and add a die to it.
Roll first.
Yeah, roll first because you could knock it out of the park. I got
that's
14 anyway, so. 9, 10, 11, 12.
I'll do it just because.
Sure. There was a few people that offered, so
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
nice.
So the two of you start looking in
Thank you, community.
directions. And Grinner, you look more around the perimeter, or you go into the tower?
I want to look into the tower because I'm trusting Penth to sort of be on the perimeter, checking
Okay,
out
gotcha.
anything.
Yeah, so you guys step through the rubble and looking around. You both find it pretty much at the same time. Covered a little bit by rubble on the open floor of the tower is what looks to be a hatch leading down into the ground. A big hatch that looks like there's 2 sides to it, although one side is completely covered in rubble. The one side that is visible shouldn't take you too long to clear away a little bit to see what's down below.
Now, do I know Penth? You have tracking, don't you, or of some sort?
Nope.
Who
I'm
has
searching.
Searching.
Yep.
Okay, that would apply. So now I feel comfortable. I would give out the Penth whistle, which is what we always communicate with.
It's higher pitch that only I can hear it.
Both you and Faust look up at the exact same time.
Kibbles and bits.
See if the community can figure out what that's from. See what movie that. First person to guess what movie that's from, 2 XP. And no, it's not. And it'll be on. I'll do it here. The whistle. Okay, sorry, but that's what I whistle to.
In the meantime, I was walking around with Faust, and I said, "Do not lose the scent of the party. We could easily get turned around in the fog." And I hear a whistle. I hate it when he whistles for me.
Well, it's a way of not going, "Hey, get over here." I don't know.
Hey, this way, man.
He kind of grunts in a direction not where the whistle came from.
Something there. Anyways, keep moving towards whatever it was he's grunting towards. And I unsheath my sword.
And you slowly stalk through the fog, walk through the fog, your feet crumpling the leaves beneath it.
I will do a search. $13.
Okay.
With, I guess, the help of Faust.
Yep. And he's going to roll. Ooh, Faust. So,
Squirrel.
you sense that he is on the trail of something. And based on his body language, you sense that it's something dangerous or something that shouldn't be there. But then, all of a sudden, he's distracted and his head goes nuts. And you see a rabbit dart out of a hole beneath a tree. And he lunges after it and disappears into the darkness or into the fog.
Faust, return to me now.
Everything,
Channeling a bit of Drafisky there.
everything is silent. And after a moment, you hear some footsteps in the fog.
That sounds like a good name for a band.
Can I run towards them?
Sure.
Yeah, I run towards the footsteps.
And not before long, you see Faust before you, a dead rabbit in its jaws.
I walk over and I rip it out of its jaws.
Oh.
Do not run away from me like that again. Is he growling at me?
Yeah, he's growling right at you.
I ignore him. Yeah, I walk away from him.
And he sends.
I go towards where Grinner is.
Okay, but he does follow you. Grinner, Imogen, you hear Ashara say, "Is everything safe?"
Yes, and by the way, shout out to Eric Johnson who got the answer.
What
was it?
It was, of course, Gremlins. It's Gizmo's song.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like the most, as a kid, that was like the most. Yeah, that's it.
Jake Ortega got it as well on Facebook.
A bunch of people got it, actually.
Yeah.
Technically, Rich got it first on the stream, on the YouTube stream, but I count Facebook group because that's the only way we can validate anything. So if there's any contest, and this is just rule of thumb, and longtime viewers should know this.
That we're starting right now.
No, we've
We've always
never
done
a
it.
contest on we always do a contest on the Facebook. So if there's any questions, I always jump straight to the Facebook. I know it's not easy to switch it, but you know what? This way we can prove it. Because the problem is I can't count the number of times where someone's like, I said it first, and then the YouTube chat's gone, and I'm like, well, I'm sorry, but this person said it first, and then people get all pissed off. So Eric Johnson, well done. I love Gremlins. Sorry, Ashura says everything's fine.
Is everything all right?
Yeah, everything's fine. There's a hatch here. Where's Pent?
I walk in as I throw the rabbit to Karthus to say, "Don't burn yourself." And I walk in. He wanted me, Grinner.
Yeah, no, the area is clear. Well, at least around here. But there's a hatch on the floor.
I didn't see anything in the fog. Faust ran away after a rabbit, though.
Well, we haven't fed him in 2 days. I don't blame him.
He's not going to be fed today.
I say, Pent, it's a warhound. He needs to hunt just as you do.
He needs to learn when to hunt. There's a latch on the floor. Did you see that?
No! Yeah, that's why I called you over. I turn down and I say, if you open it, I can be ready with the bow. That makes the most sense. I was going to say, I'll open it and you get, but it makes no sense. I'm shoot distance.
Are you ready? And I walk over to open it.
And I don't even do anything. I just stand with my arms on my side.
Flip it open.
Oh.
He did say before, let Mike go first. What do you
Yeah,
got?
I was going to say, Pent, hold. And I just want to inspect it to see if there are any arcane runes around it.
Okay.
Or actually any other sort of runes, perhaps.
Right the brains.
So go ahead, do an arcane check.
So just a straight magic check. Oh, Penth, you do not wish to open this. It looks far too dangerous, filled with arcane might.
What makes you say that? And I let the
All
door
these
go.
drawings that look like just scratches and scribbles in the floor that may just be erosion.
Yeah.
Cleverly disguised as guarding marks.
Ashara speaks up. Are you sure about that, Imogen? I'm feeling something, but it's not coming from here.
I don't think there's anything. That looks like it's just where, and I flipped the thing open.
All right, you flip it open, and dust puffs out from beneath.
And I take a look in the darkness with my, well, it's a free action to draw it, so I'm going to be cocky and draw it last minute, but I'll draw it anyway.
All right.
And passively, so I'll look in the darkness.
And looking into the darkness, you see dust just settling on what the light around you is revealing is just some crates that are stacked on top of each other. Everything is still. Everything is silent.
Then I turn to Penth and I say, "You move in first. I'll cover you."
And I walk in. I get in,
and I stop Penth just at the door, and I say, "Let us keep it between you, myself, and Imogen. I don't want Karthus or Ashara thinking they're going to get a bigger cut than they deserve."
Does anybody? Should I come in with you?
No, it's fine, Karthus.
Down there.
Feed Faust a little bit of the rabbit.
All right, we'll stay here and make sure that no one sneaks up on us.
Do we have a torch? I light a torch because I feel like it'll be dark down there.
Most people have torches.
I have flint and steel.
I light a torch.
Karthus has one that you can use if you want.
And going down step by step, I'm careful with my footing.
Yes. Careful with your footing because the wooden ladder that you're walking down is pretty rotted through.
Punky wood crumbles in my hands at parts.
Punky.
And I walk down with them with my bow drawn.
Okay. And as the three of you step down, you hear Karthus from above leaning down over. You want me to close this?
No, leave it open. We need the light.
So, you're in a bit of a storage room. That's just a small room, but filled with crates, as I said. But there is a door leading away, which looks to lead into a larger room. But it's too hard to tell right now because it is pretty dark in the other room. But stepping forward with your torch, Penth, you're able to see the room illuminate before you. Large kegs stand in rows in the room. And do you step in all the way, or do you just...
Yeah, I'll go in all the way.
Yeah.
I'm going in to look. I'll keep proceeding until I find anything or stop because there's something in my way.
All right.
As I will.
I'm actually very... when I was first coming down, I was really discouraged because of my complete and utter failure at trying to sound really confident in front of Ashara, trying to go by Grinner's words of coming across as confident because that's what she would find attractive, and then being proven so wrong. I was very deflated. However, now that we're in this place and who knows what's in there, I'm really excited to find like anything that could be, long forgotten. I'm so excited about the potential to find something intriguing.
Cool. So it doesn't look like anybody has been here in years. This place has gone widely forgotten and abandoned. And as you walk around the circumference of the room, a few things catch your eye. First, aside from the kegs, there are two statues in the room. One on either side, just to the right and the left from where you walked in. One of them is tall and is standing, big, bulky beast, and I'll actually show you a picture of it. Let me just pull this up. So this is what it looks like. And
Oh.
dust covers it,
Dwarven.
but it is clearly made of steel. Now, the one on the opposite side of the room is actually crumbled. It's crumbled in completely, and various parts of it are laying exposed on the ground. The other thing that you notice in this room is directly across from where you walked in. There's a brass door, a big brass round door that is calcified from years of leaks in the ceiling. And you can even hear a blink, blink, blink. So it's green with the calcium change.
I'll do a perception roll on
Okay.
anything else that might be standing out first off. I also want to know of the statue that's staying there. Does it look like a mechanical machine that can turn on? You know. So let's
Yes,
do 11, 12 plus 5.
I'm reminiscent of that room that we walked in and then all the skeletons rose.
That's not this campaign.
No, I know, but same characters. I'm saying I'm going back to that and thinking just by entering that.
Hold on. Which part was that in Dragon Age? I don't remember that.
Research.
When we were in the tower at the end, there were some
And so I'm
Skeletons
thinking-
rose?
yeah.
and
The last
so now,
episodes.
now I'm thinking it could be the same thing if we get in a certain thing. Maybe the statue animates. So I'm actually kind of keeping my distance because I really don't have that much to fight against such a automaton.
Yeah.
See,
I'm hesitant as well.
I whisper into Imogen, whatever is inside so much armor must be very squishy.
So with 15, do I see anything of importance?
Well, looking around the room, it seems that there isn't really much else there. But so your focus lands on the door, and the door itself has some intricate designs in it. And with a 16, you do notice that there are 3 bulges covered in dust, circular, that are going across the door horizontally, evenly spaced apart.
So I very tentatively, I put my bow away, and I very tentatively walk over.
Okay.
And I turn to the other two and I say, rooms like this are designed by dwarves. And when Dane told me of this cache, he said that a very tricksy dwarf was in, keeping it. Anything in here could possibly try to kill us. So we need to be very careful in what we touch. And I focus on Penth as I say that. Brash decisions in a place like this will get us killed.
As
room
I'm
could
about to
fill-
touch the face of that creature.
And I say, Penth, the room could fill with fire water and we could be burned alive before we know it. Let's be very careful here.
I'll follow your lead.
So I will
And I
take
very-
a step back.
Yeah, and I very carefully just brush off or blow off even the 3 bulges in the door.
And
Okay.
I'm going to get ready to shoot arcane lance towards the machine because it's the
You-
only, or the statue because it would be the only thing I have that would be effective.
You are not yet. You're not going to do it
No,
yet, are
only
you?
if it moves. Only
Oh,
if it
okay.
moves.
That's gonna be like, it's perfectly mundane unless magic triggers it. If you ever attack it, it comes to life. But no one would be that.
So you dust off the runes, and sure enough, they have these strange symbols on them. And the symbols look to be of like translucent glass, like a frosted glass. But they aren't. But that's it.
There's symbols on the glass though.
Yes. Yes.
I'm gonna roll a cunning.
Sure.
Would be able to at least decipher what origin they might have?
Cunning would be like you might recognize
Yeah.
what the symbols might mean.
So 13 at the very least to find out what again what species, not species, but what dialect they are or whatever.
So yeah, definitely dwarven, but
Okay.
you do recognize that they are each a different symbol.
Okay.
As far as that goes, though, this isn't really your area of expertise here.
But Karthus speaks Dwarven.
Uh,
Probably.
No, he does not speak Dwarven.
But Ashara.
Lynn speaks Dwarven. Now,
Who?
these are magical items,
Yeah.
right? These are runes infused with magical items. So it is fair to say that a magic user might have an inkling about what.
Wait, there are runes in the door? That's what they are?
That's what you assume them to be.
Okay.
It looks like they would fit nicely in your bow.
Yeah, I don't necessarily just want to pull them out though. Seems like a bad idea. I want to inspect the iron creature. Steel. Ooh. 12, 17, 20.
Okay. And while you're doing this, Penth, Imogen, what are you guys doing? You're seeing Grinner feeling up the door and going
I'm trying
over
to
the
get
statue.
see if there's anything in the kegs to drink.
Oh, okay. So you open up one of the kegs, or just
Yeah, I just
the tap?
use the tap and see if anything comes out.
All right. And no.
I go to the next one. I keep trying. That's all I'm doing. I'm just kind of circling in the room.
Every time you press the tap, though, you are hit with a waft of just this putrid, rotting smell.
Smells like home. I will stop after the second one then.
Wait, maybe I liked it.
Nope. All right, I stop after the second one. I say, "There's nothing in here. Should we leave? Try the door."
And Imogen, what are you doing?
Haven't done anything. I'm keeping my eye on the statue.
Okay.
And ready to,
you see Grinner
because Grinner didn't mention the runes look anything different, right? So I'm assuming we can't read them.
So Grinner, you step up to the statue, and it's hard to tell. There's so much armor on it. It could be a statue, but you think back to the other statue in the room and how there are gears and cogs inside and springs. The one that's crumpled on the floor. You imagine that this statue here has the same interior. It's just stood the test of time a little bit better, and that there is a purpose other than just standing there to it.
Well, my estimation would be that whatever we touch would trigger this creature to come to life and blah, blah, blah. So my curiosity, and with a 20, is what I'm curious is there sort of a dismantling that can happen before the thing comes to life? Is there like a choice gear that I can reach into it while it's not moving and just sort of pull it out?
It's possible.
Like one of these?
That would be nice. You get the feeling, though, that these things are designed for combat, and it would be kind of it wouldn't make sense for them to make a failsafe like that.
True. All right. Well, in that case, magic is the only way to sort of decipher what the middle runes might do, and I don't really know anything other than that. So I'll ask Imogen if I'll explain everything what I see, and I say there are 3 runes in the door with dwarven writing on them. They're very powerful, and I think maybe the wrong one or taking any of the 3 will trigger this mechanical beast come to life, and it will be a tough fight. If that's what's going to happen, then that's fine. We can prepare ourselves for that. But I want to know if you sense anything from these 3 runes, Imogen.
Yes, of course. And I will head over to them and see what I can see. 15.
Okay. So you channel a little bit of the Fade into your fingertips, and you put your hand over the leftmost rune, and you immediately begin to feel intense heat emitting from it. And then you pull your hand back and move it into the middle rune. And this rune sends out like a pulsing feeling against your hand. Strong, doesn't hurt or anything, but it actually pushes your hand back a little bit as it pulses. And then the third one, you put your hand over, and you feel like you are talking to a friend. There's a sense of familiarity in this, different than the wisp that you ran into earlier, but it's like it's a presence, a soul of someone, so to speak.
Well, that's really comforting because of what I've been dealing with and feeling inside for the past few weeks. So I feel more drawn to this one.
Okay.
But I explained to them, gentlemen, I'm not sure what to make of this. There does seem to be a feeling of heat from here, certain pulsing from this one. This one is comforting. Feels friendly.
So I assume then the far right would be a fire rune. The one in the center would be a repulse rune. And I'm not familiar with whatever you're sensing right now, but it could be some sort of rune that would allow us to be more, or allow me to convince someone of something for whatever reason. I tend to, in my mind, I tend to favor the fire rune because as an archer, that to me just sounds a lot more fun. The repulse rune, I'm assuming would like knock someone back, which would be neat. And am I getting the sense that what he's saying with that last rune would be like sort of a convincing charisma, like a friend become enemy type thing?
When you say that to Imogen, it doesn't feel quite right to Imogen.
No, and is this the sort of thing like, does it look like we could take these and fit it into his bow?
Depending on what they look like on the other side.
Looking at,
or does it seem more like an arcane traps of sort?
Looking at the statue, is there an opening for a rune or anything on it?
There are runes written all over it.
Do any of them match the runes?
Is the spirit his? And I gesture to the statue. This is one without a spirit.
You mean the actual spirit rune is this creature?
I don't know. He's lifeless.
Yeah. Do any of the runes on the creature match the runes that we're looking at now?
Yes. In fact, the fists, the gauntlets of this giant beast have matching insignia of the center rune.
The pulse rune?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Would that mean
batter us?
What's that?
To batter us.
Yeah, to me it seems like just a powerful attack then.
Maybe we need to help him. And I keep looking him in the eye.
Let's take this from the perspective of the man who used this, shall we? He used this as a post to hide his supplies while he smuggled them from realm to realm. If he was really interested in keeping whatever safe behind that door, he wouldn't have, in my opinion, wouldn't have a creature that needs to be saved rather than just a protecting drone, a guard, so to speak. I think perhaps this is merely a guard to protect us from getting behind that door. And I think maybe taking any of the runes would turn him on. I'm just theorizing, though. I hold my little rune.
If my spirit was trapped in a rock, I would hope that people would free me.
Well, but I'm not sure if it's a spirit, Penth. It could be, the mechanical being could be purely powered by energy, raw energy.
I feel
less
like
of a
the
person.
right one to take would be the one that feels friendly. Or perhaps that either that may open the door because we've been able to identify that we are friends, or perhaps the statue itself will view us as a friend.
So
There is a
also,
good, comforting feeling from this.
by looking at the door, it doesn't look like the runes are easily taken away from it. It looks like maybe you'd be able to
Just
pop them
touch or
out
push.
by opening the door, but from this angle, you won't be able to take them out.
Does the door open at all? Like trying to push on it? Is there any handles?
No, it looks like it slides open after there might be some sort of mechanism that will reveal something on the other side when it is activated.
Does my little rune capture thing do anything? Does it look like it fits any of the runes?
It looks like it'll fit them.
Yeah.
You bring it over it, and it doesn't seem to match.
Okay.
Do anything.
So there's a way for this door to slide open. Perhaps using the beasts, the gauntlets don't come off, do they?
Nope, but there is the other beast on the ground. That,
Yeah.
is
Does it
what-
have the same runes on its hands?
No, actually, you look at his gauntlets and you see a couple things. You turn his gauntlets over, and while the other one had the rune of the center on this fist, this one has a rune on his palm, but it actually matches the fire. And there's also a small nozzle from right on his palm, right underneath the fire emblem.
And on its other hand?
His other hand is the same fire.
So one has one with pulse, one has one with fire, and presumably the ability to actually spit fire. So the friendly one is the only one remaining. So is it that simple? Just eliminate the two that they have and take the friendliest one? I ask Imogen.
I'm feeling so.
I scratch my head. I say, simple. I don't get it.
Well, to me, I look at something like this and I think it must be some sort of trick or trap. But, you know, to just hover over a rune and it feels friendly and it says it's friendly. I'm a very doubting person. I think that the spirit leading us towards Imogen is trying to trick us. I feel like a rune that screams I'm the good guy is nothing but evil. If it is that simple, then maybe it's that simple.
But
We must move confidently, and I go and push the one that
and
was
I
feeling friendly.
grab his hand. I will roll dexterity if I need to.
sure, yeah, roll it.
That's the reaction time.
That's good dexterity.
You're fine.
Yeah.
So you managed to
stop
grab
him.
his hand.
And I say, Imogen, never do that without the three of us agreeing. First, let's call Karthus and Ashara down here should the thing come to life. Think next time. Then we can press the rune. Better
We
to
should
have
listen to-
5 people attacking.
Instincts are important, Grinner. Do not ignore the instincts.
Penth, instincts are great, but preparation here is so much more important. And I call Karthus and Ashara and Faust
Yeah.
because we have 3 people we're paying to attack, guys. And once they're down, then I say, okay, now do whatever we got to do.
What are we looking at here? Ashara says as she steps up to the door.
Actually, you know what, Ashara, before we do it, can you read anything from the door? We're getting that the fire rune is attached to this creature, the pulse rune is attached to this creature, and a third rune speaks nothing but happiness to Imogen. We want to get through the door. We want to take the runes if possible. So we've deducted or decided to touch the last rune.
Yeah, okay. Imogen, go stand over there. 1 second. Let me have some time with the door. And she rubs her hands together, and she puts her hands over the same ones that you did, Imogen. She says, okay. So this is obviously a fire rune. This one in the center has some sort of power rune. It's pulsing. Perhaps a wounding rune or a striking rune, perhaps. And this one here. This is the one that you said was friendly towards you, Imogen?
Yes.
It's not exactly friendly. It's just a spirit.
It's screaming,
It's
kill me. I will fucking kill you.
Let me die.
I'll fucking kill you.
I can see why you would think that, Imogen, but it's not. It's just, if I were to cast a spirit spell on you, you would feel this same sensation. In fact, watch. And she moves her hands and you start to feel yourself levitating off the ground. But as this energy flows from her to you, you feel this sense of familiarity, the sense of a presence, not necessarily friendly, but you get the sense of her spirit. So
Now I'm just angry again because I've just been proven wrong to her again.
have you tried activating any of them?
We were just about to, but we thought should something go wrong, we'd rather have the 5 of us down here too.
So it can kill us all.
What
Yeah,
do
that's
you
the
mean?
logic.
They mean this thing over here, Karthus says as he points to the beast.
And I look at Karthus and look at the beast, and I smirk because of all their armor.
All right. Well, are we going to do this or what?
So long as Ashara agrees with our logic of touching the spirit room.
I'm not too sure. Are you trying to open the door or just take one for yourself?
Well, ideally, open the door, I suppose, but I would also like a rune. You're a wise woman. You've been around the block. What does your mind say?
I'm not too sure we could take them so easily. Whoever installed these took really good care to make sure that they weren't. You couldn't just take them out from the outside. I think we have to open this door.
And you think opening the door by touching the spirit room is the likely?
Well, let me try something. And she rubs her hands together again and then puts them over the spirit rune. We're doing this, right?
Are you casting a spirit spell on the spirit room?
That was my idea, yes.
I think that might work. Casting a fire spell on the fire. If we have two creatures that could both do one and the other, maybe you need to activate all three runes with their appropriate magic to open the door.
Possibly. I don't know any fire magic, though, unfortunately.
Imogen, do you know any fire magic?
No.
I have a
What about
torch.
Yeah, that would work. What about just regular fire?
I don't see why not.
Why don't we try that first? And
I
then
throw the torch to Grinner.
and I walk over and very tentatively, like in Fifth Element, I just sort of touch it with the torch.
And like you just took a match to an open flame, it ignites, and the translucent glass begins to glow a bright orange, illuminating the room.
Okay, fire to fire, water to water, wind to wind. Come on, we need to do this. I love the Fifth Element.
So she does the same to the spirit, and it starts to glow a bluish turquoise hue. It's just the center one now.
Can you do a damaging spell, Ashar?
I only know spirit spells. I'm sorry.
Well,
Imogen?
Arcane Lance
Do you know, is it
should be able to do it.
can you do it in a small way, Imogen? Just a meanie lance.
Yeah, Imogen, cast an arcane lance on it. You can do it.
This is your chance to impress her, Imogen.
And I gave him like a really angry look. Because at this point, I'm doing this, but I just want to run. I want to get away from all of these guys because of how embarrassed I've been over the last little few
Everything's the end of the world with you, Kofoiken.
I didn't say that out loud. That was internal thought.
I know, I'm just saying.
All right. Anyway, yeah. So I will
didn't either.
cast a Arcane Lance, which is just
On-
basically like a force.
Okay. So you cast it, and this bright white light shoots from your staff and hits the rune. And the rune begins to glow. It just actually kind of flickers, a faint pale gray, and then goes out.
Well, I don't have any limits on Arcane Lance. It doesn't take any magic points, so I'll just keep doing it.
You do
Are
it
the other
again
two lit?
and again, and the other
No,
two are
it's
lit.
lit.
Yep.
I
And
walk
it-
over and I push Imogen aside. I said, "Have you tried punching it?" And I just crack it as hard as I can.
Okay, so it does the same. It does,
After broken knuckles.
but I do want you to roll your. You've got gauntlets on, but
The gauntlets are more like wrist things than
wrist
anything.
things. Okay,
Yeah.
so give yourself a 1d6 damage for that. All right. So, but it does illuminate a little bit stronger than the arcane lance, but it doesn't.
And I take my bow and I'll use my aim to see if I can do maximum damage. Which I think, how much damage does Arcane Lance do?
1d6 plus 5.
Okay, so this would no, I'd do about the same, I guess. How was I doing 2d6 before? I don't. Oh, that was only because I doubled down. I'll try it and see if I get duplicates, which I didn't. So no, it would only be 1d6 plus 6. Do I bother rolling?
Oh no, you don't have to worry about it. You can like aim and shoot an arrow at it.
Yeah.
Okay. So your arrow explodes off the wall and shatters into splinters, and Ashara covers her face. and it does the exact same thing, glows just a little bit brighter.
Ashara, you
But-
said it needs. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, no, you go.
I was just gonna say, Ashara, you said it needs damage magic.
I think this is working. Whatever we're doing, just like it doesn't need to be magic, just some sort of force. I think it is a striking rune after all.
It needs to be cumulative damage.
It needs to be hit with something powerful. I don't think our. And I want you to do a perception check, Penth, as you walk around with your hand a little hurt.
Bang a gong.
I wouldn't let anyone see that my hand hurts.
Right. Of
But
course.
12, 13, 14. If I'm searching, 16.
Okay. So you go over to the side of the room, just away from everybody, and you notice some light coming from this side of the room. And looking down, you're right next to the statue that is on the ground. And you notice that the light is coming from the palms of its hands. The fire has been activated within it. And realizing this,
Yep.
you realize that possibly, what do you say?
Well, so the fire inside its palms are coming, more or less? Is that what you're
Just
saying?
the light on his palms are illuminated, the emblems. So it's alive, but it's in no condition to fight.
I say if we, well, we are going to free the spirit if we're not careful of this warrior.
Why do you say that?
Look at the palms of this fallen one.
So by activating the rune, the other creature will come to life?
I think, I don't know why the other one didn't activate, but this one could activate.
So the other one did activate a little bit.
Which
but
one?
It didn't open the door. The middle one, the striking rune.
Right.
The same rune that was...
What's going to happen? And I know what's...
Other one.
Okay, this is one of those ones where like Penth, how clever is Penth? He's strong enough to... I could not do it, but I think he could. And I gesture to the creature or the statue. If we free him, maybe he can help us.
So you all turn to look at the other creature. And you see a faint gray light pulsing strongly from its fists. And as Karthus turns around to look at it, it raises its hand in the air and swats Karthus, and he goes flying into a keg, smashing it to pieces as the beast steps down from its mantle and begins walking towards you. And that's where we're going to end it tonight.
That's too funny because, like, be right back. And the end. Excellent place to end it. Thank you guys so much for being with us here on this lovely Wednesday night. Thank you, as always, to our lovely GM, Justin Thomas James, for doing this. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been such a blast to hang out with you guys, chat, hear your funny comments and stuff. It's always a blast. So thank you so much for doing this with us. As always, we want to say have a fantastic weekend and all that kind of jazz. But please, I do want to remind you, if you haven't already, like the video. And if you like this or look, everyone out there who hopefully been a long time fan enjoys the videos. Hopefully, if you're still a fan, I don't know why if you don't enjoy the videos. But share this video, share your favorite video of ours, share your favorite campaign, or try to use it to get other people involved. Like I said at the beginning of this, we don't ask for much from you guys, but we do love to spread the word. And if you guys like what we do, we want to spread it to others too. So go ahead and share it on your wall on Facebook, share it on your Twitter account, whatever you want. Sharing is caring. And it's not much I've asked for before, but we're going to start asking for it because I think with the group of people we have here, I'd love to have more people of the same mentality. So if you got friends that are kind of like, I know there's a few people like April and Lorene and their husbands. When we do spooky game nights, and probably even tonight, they like hang out and they watch the show together as like friends, which is such a cool idea. And I want that to kind of go across anything. Anyway, again, thank you to these guys. Thank you to you guys. This has been a blast. Have a fantastic night. Have a fantastic weekend. And do you guys have anything else to add?
Actually, I do just want to again thank the community for following along and donating their XP to help us out, because I used about 20 XP donated from the
Jesus
stream.
Christ.
So thank you guys.
But yes, thank you. Thank you so much to those who donated. You totally abused the system, Mike. But yes, thank you to those who donated. Have a fantastic night, guys. Have a fantastic weekend. And as my boyfriend Chris always likes to say,
We'll see you around the table.
see you around the table, guys. Good night.
Good night.